All right, we started. That's nice. Right now we are launching TikTok as always. It's very funny that TikTok is the only one where we have top-notch followers. And yeah, let's go. Oh wow, we still have not so much far from 10,000, so that's epic. Let me just open the comment section, and here we go. Now everybody can comment anything at any time. All right, let's open WSL. Hopefully we have our dev session ready, and we are waiting for you to join, guys. Cool. What a kind of IDs. Though today I actually started the live stream late, just because I wanted kind of to have more time into the CST time for this live stream, because we have people coming up from the US, LATAM, also Asia for some reason. And whenever I start this at 10 p.m. CET, basically German time, it's kind of hardcore to kind of find the best niche. So as I speak English, most of the people that follow me actually live on the other part of the globe. Nice, we have already a question in the chat, which is really cool. What is the best way to learn JavaScript? I mean, what I'm doing right now is one of the best ways that I learn with, which is actually to do kind of chat sessions with you guys and learn kind of the basics. And sometimes even we learn core stuff like for JavaScript. So start by doing small things like let's say you be able to build like an to-do app or something like that, and from there you move forward step by step by learning new packages, new cutting-edge stuff. Like you follow what people are learning, and yeah, that will help you actually. All right, so now we open that. I'll just npm run dev the project. We tried today to actually finish up with the routing issue. We had a big routing issue actually, and the routing issue that we have is actually we don't have an outlet for private route, and I heard I can do that with 10-stack router. Hey, Margina there actually joined. Nice. Was a time no see actually. Cool. And let's actually see if the application works. Local storage. If you actually don't remember how the application looks like, I'll share my screen quickly to show you. I need actually to log in first and fill out the interesting. And then we need now to work about the routing part, and also how the routing should work directly to actually take you to this page. Yeah, this page has some white noises, has some tabulation for focus and break. Probably will actually attach some stuff here. Yeah, and we will see how we can move from there. Yeah, cool. We also can actually do kind of like the other routing problems that we have. Oh, it actually went to the login page by default. Yeah. All right, let me see. This is the login page, and this is the home page. This is the contact page I still didn't work on. This is also again the login page, and this is the home page, and that's it. Yeah, as you see, I have a big problem with routing. I need to fix it. I can't fix it with making like an auth. Use auth maybe hook, and let's see how it goes from here. Tofat said, just want to let you know that you're using the best code editor. Thank you. I'm using NeoVim for that, by the way. And yeah, maybe actually we can write some hooks. Yeah, here I'll just do use auth for now. .tsx, and I'll explain to you what we're gonna do exactly. Oh, Margina was sick. Hope that you're feeling better now. Jifa's here as well. Nice. All the guys that I used to see are back. Nice. What the full stack you are using? I'm actually using this stack. I'll just explain it to you in a small kind of note. By the way, this is very funny. Yesterday we were talking actually about this, like what are the texts that I'm using. But for this project, actually, I'm doing React JS, TS, and no testing though. I'm having like Prisma and yeah, Prisma here and PostgreSQL basically. Yeah, that's it. That's what I'm using for now. And yeah, for server we are using Express. So let me go up. Server side we have Express, and that's on the backend. So this is back, right? And for front we have something different. We have just React, and if you want to save it as a compiler kind of, or transpiler. We have some couple of other stuff like 10 stack or stuff like that, if you want to say 10 stack query. Also router, so that's good. So that's the same. And what else? Yeah, we have our own hooks, which we built from zero. And for Express, for sure, we have Prisma here. And we built like a PostgreSQL service, actually Postgres. This is as a own service kind of. And we're doing Passport.js with GWT kind of. Yeah, and these jump between front end and back end kind of. Yeah. Do you practice to code every day? I need that kind of motivation. Honestly, I wasn't doing this before, but let me show you something. This is my GitHub profile kind of, and you can see that I was really lazy. But here, this is where I started streaming. So like to stream is just to put the habit of code every day for the chat to see you doing that, and also they get the mindset that they can do the same as you. As you see, most of my things that I'm doing are just simple commits, and I'm doing sometimes pull requests, stuff like that, but mostly like pull requests on my own project. So here I actually did some pull requests today regarding like dev tool. These are closed ones, developed to main basically, and it was just to add these kind of stuff that we add in the chat. So I'm using the chat as a motivation, let's say, to actually do this. Yeah. Hello Mario. Yeah. Obelix said, I just AI generated my Google interview and landed a job. Should I feel bad? No, you shouldn't. You know what to do, Obelix. This is what I do also most of the time. If I find something, let's say if I want to learn 10 stack, I will go like this. I will have two options basically, right? First option is to generate my own code, which is very basic, because when I started to learn about caching, about stacks when it comes to kind of like do this local storage stuff, also like to have like a caching service in your application where you cache certain stuff and not the others. So then you have, for example, Zastand to work on tandem with the query, kind of for caching, right? This was for me a big problem because I didn't know what I'm writing. I'm not familiar with this syntax, right? So what I did is I asked AI. I asked AI and let the AI do the job for me, and then go back to this section and read line by line, literally read it and understand it, because at that point you should 100% know what you're doing, right? Oh, but some guy here said that he's about to get HTML and CSS certified. Do I go for JavaScript next? Yes, for sure. That's 100%. But can you tell me what kind of certifications are you doing here for HTML and CSS, right? All right, so here our friend asked about 10 stack. Actually, 10 stack is not only a router. 10 stack now have multiple stuff to it. So if you go here, you will have all of this, right? So now it has 10 stack form, right? I'm sure that it's like a React hook form, maybe under the hood, plus, I don't know, maybe plus something like Zod or something like that, right? but it has 10 stack store, which is actually some state management thingy. It has 10 stack router and 10 stack query, but for you, just use these two, right? I actually explained the 10 stack router in my video, like in my channel, the latest video. Go and check it, because today also we're gonna work on it, and we're going actually to use the private routes. Yeah, so here I think there is no explanation for that. So this is really good. Like there is like some stuff that we might use, like the session storage thingy, and yeah, this is not very important, but for us, for example, the spinner that we might use to make the app load while you are actually getting your user back. Yeah, 10 stack store will be versus Redux actually, but I would say Redux for now, because I know that Redux is well maintained. Maybe this 10 stack store thing is new and we need to actually read about it. So in this case, we can just go here, get started, and read what it does. So here, from out of the bat, you see that they have access to request context, so that's perfect. So you know that you're gonna work on context in this part, like really context approach. Now comes to the better part, which is maybe the syntax. If the syntax is easy, then I would be really happy. So here there is some handlers. Okay, I'm not sure now what is happening. So this store actually seems to be storing data from forms and stuff like that, and here they have like Zod validation for some stuff. Let me see where it actually handles some. Okay, yeah, so this is a server function as an API request that returns a promise of unknown, and that promise is a person. That person can be an object or a null, and then they async data gets into a data.name, and then they return something that they just... Okay, it seems like more not like a state management tool. So now this 10 stack store seems to be a validator more than a store, right? Which is really odd to call it 10 stack store at this point. All right, and look at that, they also actually work with Svelte now, which is awesome. Nice, cool. Let's continue on that. So let me see, is it worth still going into development with AI? Yes, it is worth it. Use AI as your leverage. So basically, as I was explaining here, you have, for example, I had the task to generate some stuff from like the stand and React hook forms. Why? Because we had this task. We had actually, I don't remember what we used, but we used, I think, Formic, right? Plus Zod adapter, which is not a real Zod, it's Zod plus another adapter. So if you think about it, you're installing, this is one, why is it like that now? 1, 2, and 3 packages to do form validation and form sending or submitting. And then turned out that you can do it only with React hook forms, and this is the new thing, React hook forms, right? It's called like this, hook forms plus Zod only. I know that Zod also adapters here for, there is like this generate part of the application. I think I can show you that. There is this route that I have called contact. So here we had the Zod resolver from something called hook form. So it's still actually 1, 2, and hook form actually, which is the adapter for actually doing your inference of the type of Zod basically. But still it is better. Why? Because this is kind of like the best way that people actually going for at the moment. Is like, now this is kind of work ethic approved, let's say, kind of. So let's say like that, approved. So if you do like this, you will get check marks from the one who interviewed you actually. And this one, yeah, you can also get approved, because it's not something different from this, but this is what is the standard right now to work with in the companies, right? Promise versus await. I mean, promise has two things to it. I think promise, when you have multiple promises that you can chain with, that resolve function, or that promise.all function will help you a lot, because then you will actually wait for multi requests, right? Multi-recs. But then await is just actually simple fetch that you will have, or a simple function that will return a promise. So still returns a promise, by the way. It's not so far from this, but this is maybe you can just put it into a functional component, and you use it in your user effect, and you say, hey, I want to actually just call one function and move with my life, right? Xylem said, rip Formic. Alright, so Wahab Abbasi asked, someone hacked his TikTok account. By the way, how can I recover it? I think TikTok have their own support. You can just Google it. Honestly, there is a Reddit I can share with you. Maybe you can DM me. I will send it to you. That talks a lot about TikTok and the problems with TikTok. So then you can just write them there, and they will tell you what to do. Rip Formic, they haven't improved the library in 2 years. Can't wait to 10 stack forms to hit V1. That's actually very cool. Let me see about that. I mean, I know that 10 stack form actually improved the whole game now, but is it actually very far from React hook forms? Oh wow, look, they use it with MUI actually as well. Oh, they are showing you also a way to preview a whole thing. Alright, so npm install, npm run dev. Can I see the preview it? No, for sure. Get started. Okay. Field state meta is touched. So this is kind of like how you will behave with the form, kind of. So if you touch the form, therefore there is this validation that will happen. So then it will show you this validation message, and it will show it as an italic way, ender. Maybe this will be a field info that you will return under every field. So here the label input and then the field info, you see, which is really epic. I mean, this is the same that React hook form does actually. It does have like this label form that you can use, or error label. Yeah. Do you use Material UI? In my job, yes. In my current job, yes, but I'm not using it that much. 10 stack form has a comparison chart. Okay, I don't know where it is. Maybe in the reference or something, walkthrough guide or something like that. Not really, right? Comparison chart. Yeah, maybe you talk about this here. Let me see. Actually, I'm trying to find it because it's important. Maybe this one they're talking about, but no dependency, you just use 10 stack. Okay, it has its own validation, so you don't need to install Zod or infer any types in this case. So this is the project source index stack, and that's you go, blah. Very fast actually. So first name at least 3 characters, validating. Submit. Yeah, so nothing much to it. But yeah, it's just, oh wait a second, it uses use form from 10 stack React form. That's cool. That's super good. This is React, by the way. So if you want to see it, how it works with Vue, you need probably to go upstairs and search for that. I mean, if you get started, and then I hope that they put that somewhere. I don't know, like for the 10 stack router they show it, but for this, yeah, here you go, Vue Angular. Oh wow, I never did actually an Angular project, even out of curiosity. I never wanted to. All right, so here let me see actually the package.json, what it contains in this case. Angular 19, which is epic, yeah, and RxJS, TSLib, and so on. I wonder also what is the ESLint thingy is like. Okay, there is none here. Well, but what is this? This is also kind of package or vite-config kind of thingy, but for Angular. Readme file, and then let's see the app component. Wow, look at this, very clean actually. This is a component. You go down, nothing very weird unless you meet this kind of bracket thingy, and then you go for this, which is an if else thing. I don't like this actually, even though that the itinerary from React looks similar to this. but this scares me, like if you don't know how to do this, or maybe you get used to them. I'd rather use mappers and stuff from React to do this kind of stuff rather than do it this way. Oh, look at this, what the hell is happening? They're resolving a promise inside a div or something. That's really funky. All right, let's not really do it that much and keep bragging about Angular on a React project. All right, let me actually see what you guys are doing. Is Angular? No, we are doing React here. Why use 10 stack page? We are actually just looking. Why use 10? I don't know about why use 10 stack pages, but I think there will be one somewhere. Some user said, hey, grab this kind of coins. I don't know what he means by that. Similar to Vue Bro. Yeah, I never actually used the Bro as well. So you see where I'm coming from. I'm really super far from it. Yeah. Nice. Okay. Let us actually build something today. So today what we want to do is to kind of like look at the 10 stack router part that I built and see if there is actually 10 stack router private routes, right? I know that if you are authenticated right now with my application, I cannot seem like a way to do this with my auth. So I was thinking actually that I will use a use auth contest kind of, right? And wrap the whole thing for my app. But honestly, I don't know how does that work, right? So I will actually go, yeah, so here our data is actually not happy with this. I can just go ESLint disable next line, because I'm gonna use that actually data line later on, and maybe if it's not happy with it, we will fix it out later on. Okay, what else? So now I did actually use auth context. It will be a bit odd, honestly, to use this use auth context, because I only know that I am logged in using a get profile kind of thing. So I need to kind of make a component that is not a React component. Actually, it should be not a React component. It should be returning and not a default actually, and it should not be returning also that. It should be returning is loading, is authenticated, and that's it, right? I will make a use state snippet for that. I'll try to write this myself, and if I write something wrong, please correct me, guys, because honestly at this point I don't know sometimes what I'm writing. And this one will be null for now, right? We'll have a constant function or an await function, because we have already a get profile part. Let me search for it, /get profile or /profile, I think that's what we call it. What is the function? Is this on our front end? Yes, this is on our front end, and it is in EF, in API. So we have this user.ts get profile function. And guys, if you are not following, and if something looks like very not familiar for you and stuff, please write it in the chat so I can explain it to you, because we already improved this application that much that things becomes to be messy at the end, and things became much more sophisticated than they should be, kind of. Yeah. When you do this in the outline folder set, or you need to write for every folder, I actually write every folder. TSX TypeScript, yes, TSX is JSX plus TypeScript, kind of, yeah. And if you want me to explain you that, I will explain it. And right now we are writing actually a use auth context, or a use auth provider, to just talk about how this will work and so on and so forth. By the way, guys, we are as soon as possible becoming 10,000 followers, so I would really appreciate it if you guys follow, and if you guys also share the live stream, because that will make me even go more berserk and maybe stay here for 3 hours more. How is async differ from await? I mean, the async is the function itself, and the wait is what you actually wait for. I don't know. I don't understand your question here. Maybe you can elaborate on that. Hey, Peter is there, or Piotr, or how can I say your name? Let me know, is the first option is correct or not? I almost failed the same computer science class twice. What? What are you studying? If you are in the US, for sure, I would fail. If I go for my bachelor degree again, I will fail every subject. Unless it's coding, basically. So because I forgot all the math, I forgot all the physics that I had there, I forgot everything that I studied, literally. Oh, you misread my code. Yeah, so let me actually go like ZZ to the ZZ on top. ZZ is actually to middle this. So if I type ZT, I will go on top. If I do ZZ, wherever my cursor is will be in the middle of the screen, right? Oh, birth. Okay, I'll call you then Peter. Which streaming app are you using? I'm using OBS, by the way, so you don't have to spam the chat. Just ask a normal question. I will read it. Don't worry about that. All right, if you wanted to become a self-taught cloud developer, what would you suggest for someone? Honestly, guys, I said this a million times, and probably I will put it. I put it actually in my profile. About this website called roadmap.sh. This one here, I actually pasted in the chat. I will paste and pin and copy at the same time again, just to show it very fast, okay? This is it. Yeah, go there. Go where is DevOps, AI? You have AI engineer and you have DevOps somewhere. Surely you have DevOps. Game developer, MLOps, cybersecurity, developer relation, DevOps. All right, here you go. Right, here you go, the whole map. All right, let me just take this out of the way. The whole map is there. I pasted this in the chat. Go check it, please. Go and make this your goal for this year, to just become a DevOps engineer or whatever, and follow that roadmap, right? Nice. Yeah, Peter, just save it, because honestly, it's that's what I followed. Okay, if you ask me, I am half self-taught, half engineering from school as well, but I could say whatever I learned as a self-taught developer is from this roadmap.sh website, because they only not have like this roadmap, but they have a track and part where if you make an account, you can follow and track your way through it, right? And for me, I wanted always to become like a cybersecurity developer. Or a cybersecurity expert. It's not developer. I don't know what to call it, but in this case, if you want to become one, just follow what I will pin again now in the chat. All right, cool. Imagine doing this. What do you mean? No glasses. I mean, by the way, I actually see 10 out of 10. This is very funny that people always see me without the glasses and be like, where's your glasses and stuff like that. It's just the blue light glass. You see the blue light on it? So right now I wear it because I sit in front of the computer too much. Yeah. Nice. Oh, so Prasanna is actually a cybersecurity guy. You know, can I ask you a question here? If you are a cybersecurity guy, then or expert, I would say to myself, because I actually build. I have like when I was super young, like 12, 14 or whatever. I call that super young. Now I'm 30, by the way. I built a lot of reverse shell stuff. Like I always try to hack and stuff like that. And these reverse shells use basically PowerShells or basically hashed shells or maybe hashed code through JavaScript, because I kind of like it, like the reverse shell into a CMD of a person. And there was actually these reverse shells that I created that was successful, right? And they were really working 100%. But whenever I actually try to do the do it on a VPS or something like that, so I can actually forward my IP or my port and it will work at 100%, I never can actually make these work forever. So I need to attach it to one of the processes of the computer. So I actually don't know how to do that. Maybe you can share with me somewhere that I can, what they call you sustain in the computer of the victim, basically. But I'm just doing this for purposes of learning, because I really like that. I wanted to connect to some power, like to some CMDs of other users, and then just stay there forever. But yeah, I'm trying to learn it, and I did a really good job. But if you have also a good courses about how you hash your basically payloads and stuff like that, please share them with me, DM me, and I would be really happy with that. Why do blue light glasses work? How do they work? They just block blue light so you can sit in front of your computer as much as you can, especially if you have a dark room. Basically what you're doing is that you're burning your eyes alive, kind of. With time you just cannot see anymore. You will have your eyes getting dry by the days, and you don't know it until it's done. Like your eyes are dry forever. So then you have to buy like this little thing that will help you to stay in front of computer, but it will be actually very bad situation, kind of. So blue light will save your life, at least for another 10 years of safety. Yeah, so Neil said that he uses night shift, which is also kind of like a blocker for blue light from your screen itself, but my now screen is like on 100% luminosity or contrast, so I will burn my eyes 100% if I don't wear these glasses. Yeah. So we have Scripy. He's a Java dev. Welcome to the chat. Welcome everybody in the chat. Please follow. We are trying to reach out actually the 10,000 followers today, if we can. If not, then tomorrow. And Neon asked a very good question. What do you think about AI saying that it takes over your developer job? Weren't we actually talking about this in a second? I was actually explaining how if I want to generate code that I don't know, and syntactically I'm really bad at it, I just will use, for here in the case it was the stand plus query, stack query, to kind of like do something with both of them at the same time. And then I didn't know, so I asked AI to tell me, and then I read about this. There is like a quote that someone said, I don't know who. He said like, how can I do a bike like this? Like that, and then this, and this. I don't know how to do a bike actually. Yeah, so he wanted to buy a bike, so he said I stole one, and then I asked for forgiveness. That's what you do. You ask AI, and then go line by line and try to explain it to yourself. If you don't understand it, make AI explain it to you, right? And that way actually is just how you do it, right? Cool. All right, ask as many questions. I'm honestly here for you guys to explain as much as I can, right? And let's see what we got. Nice. We are actually not so far from hitting a milestone on this TikTok thingy. 1 month of live streams and we are nearly 10,000. That's amazing. 8 years of full stack and DevOps here. Also implemented security OCD or not. Wow, Arnie is an OG. Right, Arena asked, I remember you were going to work on API today. Did I miss it? Or no, I just started actually live streaming. I started like, I don't know, 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago, but we are just trying to answer as many as I can from the chat and work at the same time. Right, but we're gonna develop that for the use auth and make our 10 stack work with private routes. I just heard you say that I have astigmatism. No, I don't, but oh, you do. Okay, and you're learning cybersecurity. Okay, glasses coming in 2 weeks. That's awesome. How do you think about learning QA? I mean, you should learn QA, by the way. One thing about it, if you are a front-end developer, where is it? This is the front-end schema for me. Learn, this is where I put it. Why I cannot choose another color? Is there like some cool color? Oh, okay, I can choose some good stuff. Let's choose this screen maybe, or maybe let's put like white, total white. I don't know. Like, let's go with my nice gray FF5C or something like that. This is a green, by the way. 5C. Yeah, this is a good green to write with. Nice. It's also good. All right, cool. So Cypress, right? and here how you go with it. Oh, bike. So for front end, there is type of testings, right? If you are using Vite, then vtest is really good for you. Vtest under the hood, actually, if you remember Jest, if you remember Mocha, these are testing libraries. These are basically joined to make this look better, but it's not the same company, but they kind of like looked at these two and made Vtest the best. There's also something called Vtest UI, which comes in handy to show you like an HTML page where your coverage will be like this. Let's say your app.tsx is covered 100%. It would give you like a green bar here. Let's say if you have like something like layout and your layout is not covered correctly, then therefore this will be literally red, like red to a point, so it can be red until to the half or something like that. This is good, but also learn yourself something like Cypress, because Cypress is end-to-end testing, and end-to-end testing means that you are going to write some code to actually provide some mocks as a JSON mocks, right? And these what we call not features, but something with F. I forgot. Anybody in the chat knows what they are called? Not features, but something like that. So these are mocks. Let me call them mocks now. And these mocks actually help you a lot, right? Cypress is end to end, E to E. That's what we call, right? This, okay, E to E. Let me just do it like this. And then there is something else here called like unitary tests or unit tests, right? Which is actually only on the level of your component. These two work in tandem. If you work on these two, actually you will be the best developer on QA there. And you can take a QA job to do this, right? But that can be included in the front end the like part. So you can do as a front end developer, learn QA, and you will have it in your package. You say, yeah, I worked on this and actually it helped me a lot. And then as our friend here said, you will have like kind of like a test pyramid where your test will be residing like that. And with the help of this UI from Vtest, for example, if you are a React developer like me, you will have a really good code coverage. This is what you call CV or code coverage. And this code coverage will be, let's say, 100%. We never at 100%, but we usually at 80. If you are 80 plus, you're a good developer actually. Cool. Nice. I hope that explains what I'm trying to say, but yeah. Integration tests, correct. So Cypress actually is doing integration tests. And by the way, for integration, you have to write a JSON file. So this will make you write like some config, like you call them config or integration.config.cypress or something like that, .cy or whatever it's called. I'm not sure, I cannot recall, .ts or wherever. And in it, you will have an object that defines your local port. For example, you want to use 3001 maybe for Cypress. You will also use like new env files for this. Maybe your env here needs to be different from what you have on your own application. So let's say you have an env for features, where we call feature toggles or something like that. So that env will be always true for Cypress, because Cypress needs always to look at all your features, right? You can use a random port, or maybe you can use whatever you want. For me, I would say the app needs to take a port of 3000, let's say, right? And Cypress will take always 3001. This is what I'm used at work, right? What is that? This is one. By the way, do you know that Vite also take 5173, right? Yeah, 5173. This is it. Okay, do you know why it takes 5173? Anybody in the chat knows this? I know you guys know for sure. I will tell you a trick so you can tell your friends about it. Okay, so Antonio said yes. Oh, nice. Okay, so 5 in Roman is V, right? 1 is I, right? 7 is like little like this as a T, and 3 is just E. So Vite, right? that's it. For the guy who was asking where I'm from, so the people who know, please don't tell, and the people who doesn't know, please guess, because this is a game that we're playing in the chat every time someone asks. So please let me know, because that's a really good game that we play. Arnie here is our developer who didn't know that Vite means Vite port. Like that's why they use 5173. Jesse said I'm from Turkey. Somebody said I'm Russian. No, I'm not. Okay, far. Also Turkey far. From Europe. Okay, I live in Germany, but I'm not German for sure, 100%. Do I look German? I don't, for sure. Some guy say, hello, I'm a donkey. I feel like I'm a donkey. Or maybe he identifies like one. Alright. I won't argue with you. I probably would argue with you, but it's 2025. You shouldn't argue now with anybody who then defines at anything. Spain, Portugal, bit far. I'm from a country in Africa. Let me make it actually easier for you. So this guy said he knows HTML. Oh, Moon got it. Tunisia, yeah. I'm from Tunisia. Tunis. So I am Arab actually. I'm Arab who speaks English, French, Russian, and German. So 4 language. Yeah. Cool. It's actually really nice. Familiar with clean code? Not really. I write whatever code and then go back and try to make it better. So for our guy, he said he did HTML. So let's look at it this way, right? He did this HTML part. He finished his CSS correct. By the way, this is the roadmap.sh. I don't have to say it every time. And then JavaScript comes here, learn the basics, learn the DOM manipulation, and learn the fetch API Ajax thingy. If you wonder, go here, click on it, and then you will have videos that will take you directly to videos. Also, you'll have premium resources if you want to pay for it. I think Scrimba would cost you like $30 a year, so you can do that. Some guy said, dis quelque chose en français. Mais oui, je peux parler en français, mais je préfère pas. Why? Because I actually have all my followers that they speak English, and I even sometimes when I try to speak French, I cannot speak it because I cannot jump from one to another. And some guy want to test me in Russian. He says, "Как ты, брат?" Очень хорошо, спасибо большое. So I can speak Russian as well. But the thing is that I don't use it professionally for sure. I just used it when I was studying and when I was learning how to play Counter-Strike correctly. I had a lot of people from Ukraine who played with me. They also teach me how to speak it. Yeah. Ah, c'est bien ça. Enchanté, enchanté. Man like Mickey. Thank you, mate. You are amazing unless you are from a Semitic origin. Yeah, I am from Semitic origin and I speak Arab for sure. So Arab is my mother tongue. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. Alex, I am actually just answering your question here. So the website that we are building is this one over here. It's kind of like a tool that lets you do like a timer. It's just a hub for you to actually work with your cell phone studying or whatever like that. So whenever you study, you have like a timer going on for you, and you have also some white noises that I will play one of them right now. Yeah, so this was the coffee voice kind of, and this was the timer working there. Also you have a break timer, you can make it, and therefore you have here an extra one where you put your own stuff, right? Do you recommend continuing to learn programming and technology despite the impact of the AI? Yeah, I actually think you should, and we're talking about it right now. For example, look, if I am actually doing some test, do you think I remember how I write the test? I still, till this day, don't remember where to start because syntactically I always forgot, right? So what I do is usually look at another file. I open my repo, I see the files over there, and I look at one and I say, hey, I want to learn to do the same, copy paste, right? But in my case, I sometimes have two options. I either do it myself, do it yourself kind of thingy, or do you yourself, it's kind of like that, do AI, do UI, or something like that. I think this is an I, whatever. Or or I ask AI. But the problem is the difference between you ask AI or you let AI do the job for you. DIY, yeah, do it. DIY, yeah, correct. But how can I forget about this? I played the game on Switch, Animal Crossing, and they have like a section for where you can Animal Crossing, yeah, crossing. It's a really good game. It sold like 1 million copy, yeah, very much copies actually. And ask AI and then go there and just go line by line and check what you're learning and what you're doing, kind of, yeah. So in this case, that you will have the first line that you didn't get. Oh, you ask Copilot why. If you don't have Copilot, use Code, or what is it called, Code UI or something like that. Or now you can use Gemini on your VS Code actually. Right? Always ask why is this line, why is this line, why is this line, and it will help you 100%. Yeah. Can you please tell me how easy Lua is? Nobody believes me that it's easy to learn. Well, Lua, it is easy to learn unless you are using it in something. So, for example, you want let's say to build an application that configures your NeoVim setup. So for me, it's here. Okay, Alex needs to sleep and he wants me to answer. Where is your question, Alex? Please write it. Please, I already do HTML, CSS. What's next? Guys, please answer him. This is the website where you can go, right? That's the website. I copied in the chat. Please make a screenshot. This is the internet part of it. The HTML here, you can find everything you need. The CSS here, you can find everything that you need. And then JavaScript, and please click everywhere and you will get it. All right. So that's it. Follow the roadmap one by one and you will find everything you need about JavaScript actually. One of the JavaScript things that I will tell you today is the call stack. Anybody knows what is a call stack? Thanks, Alex. Thanks a lot. Yeah. All right, cool. So the call stack is kind of like a place where a function calls a function. They will go always this way. So they follow the y-axis from top to bottom, right? So the thing is that there is like when you actually read about Linux and how it works, or maybe how JavaScript works and stuff like that, they always talk about the call stack thing, right? Like how does it work under the hood, right? So if you have a function here that calls another function, let's call this function 2, that is inside this function 1. The function 1 will be in the bottom of the call stack until function 2 finishes. When function 2 finishes, it will just be deleted, right? And function 1 continues working, and then it says, okay, I got approved, and then it also gets deleted. Yeah, so this is the stack trace of the stack kind of thing. There is actually an option for you if you go, oh, wait a second. I think if I go on my app, for example, and check, I think resources, and there's something here called stack for some reason. I don't know where it is, performance maybe, or memory, or application stack. I actually don't know where it is in the console log. At this point, I forgot. But honestly, I always remember that it's in the source, maybe in the threads part here, right? But it can be actually something really, really helpful. And if you remember, guys, let me know, because I honestly forgot what it is. It's not in network and not in performance as well. You have memory part here, but I was thinking an application here you will find it. There's someone always that talks about how the stack and how the application works, or they changed it maybe to something else. Yeah, but yeah, usually, yeah, let me see, session index. Oh, there is actually an indexation of the local storage stuff. That's really nice. Firebase installed. Actually, we should delete Firebase in this case. Shouldn't be there, but we have some cookies from, I think, also Firebase, right? Nice. I will delete the whole thing about Firebase because now we are using actually GWT. Check scope. Where is that? Is it an application or is it somewhere in Okay, I don't have a recorder for that, but sources, and then should be in scope somewhere. Yeah, because scope seems like yeah, here. Sure, here you go. Sorry about that. Yeah, so now let me just inspect again and just go to network sources, and then you will find the call stack here. Right, that's correct. Yeah, thank you. 1C1. Do you know if there is one app who can take the design and make it HTML CSS? It's Figma AI, probably. Yeah, Figma has an AI. Yeah, Figma AI for HTML CSS. I don't know. AI powered Figma to code. Yeah, this one. It's actually Builder.io has one of it, but this is what you are looking for, actually. The Builder.io part of it. Yeah. Alright, I'm an accountant that is interested in learning program to develop mini task apps. Kasim, that's nice. I mean, for you, maybe like a to-do app for calculating some of the stuff will be really amazing. Alright guys, let's go and build what we need to build today. So what we are going to build today is just simply this. We have our application, the React app actually, uses 10 stack router, TR I will call it, and TR has some private routes that we need to set up. And this private route needs a use auth context to actually use to know that we have a current user. I want to return a current user just to know that my user is there, probably get his name, maybe to use it somewhere as well. So I want to make this so I know exactly that 100% we are having something to share with our web page when we are actually logging in. And our application will probably have, like, in the header on top next to the logout button here on top, maybe an icon for the user himself, right? So that would be amazing that we can build it today. And for everybody who's here for the first time, please actually I don't know, follow, and yeah, let's reach us to maybe 10,000 today. That will be really amazing to do. And if we cannot, then tomorrow, because I live stream every day. So let's continue. All right, I will take off this. I will read your comment from time to time. Right now, let's go get coding. I prefer actually to use this get profile function. I know that I have used it somewhere, so I can show you how it works. So here we used it with a query function actually here, which returns the use query part of it, and then it says, hey, I want to query the user and get him to do return, like, I think data, and data.user will be something that we can see. And then we set the current user. Actually, this is my auth provider at some point, and it actually works perfect. Maybe what we can do in this case is just clean it up. Maybe then our use auth that we just added right now, we can just get rid of it, right? And use this instead. The thing is that I don't see happening in this case is, why did I actually put this in a context? Because honestly, at this point, I really don't need it to be a context. It might work, it might not, but let me see where I used use auth. Okay, so use auth. Okay, it's not actually there. Okay, use auth. Yeah, now it shows. So I have use auth used in current user, use mutation. So for the logout part, I put it there. Okay, maybe I will do some trick here to actually put the current username. So I will console log this current user to see what is happening, right? It's actually not very good to have that there, but at least my ESLint knows about that. So now I have .name, which is John, so I can use that. So actually I can make the type for this. So let me just actually make a type for all of this. I will copy user right now, copy a user object, and go to types. Usually I have a types folder somewhere, right? Yeah. And I will actually show you how my user is. My user should be like this. And I will just create one type for it. So type user, and this is gonna be just as this. ID should be string, should be always there, right? Name also string, should be always be there as well. email, another string. Yeah, the password, I'm not gonna take it actually, but it can be anything of, I don't know, create that, maybe anything else will be actually welcome. So we will do this as a record, right, of anything, a string kind of. And by the way, this is a hashed kind of like password, so this is not the correct password, so don't get excited to see that. Yeah, that type of user now we need to export. This, by the way, kills the whole thing that we're doing. Oh, by the way, I need to put this here. An index range parameter cannot have a question mark. It can, but it might be that we can put it here and then just make it like that, right? So it says here that the member of string implicitly has an any type. It can, but yeah, it can be any, but I would like to have it as string or maybe unknown. In this case, I have no idea. Yeah, implicitly any type. So they say that this key can be of any type. Man, you know what? At this point, I don't want to use any. So I will just I'll just kind of like maybe add everything, but I will omit later on kind of what I need to get. Okay, created that, and this will be string. And then what else do we have? We have updated that, right? But that's, I don't know, why should someone update it? His profile, right? Okay, then in order for us actually to make this better, I will do another type of user and type safe user, and then omit, just to show you how the omit works. Just do this omit, right? And you open that and you say, hey, I want to omit from type user the password, kind of, right? And this should work. It just says, hey, I want actually to always use the one that is without the password, just to make sure that things will come back correctly, right? Exposed. No, it's not exposed, don't worry about that. Best dev content ever on this live. Thanks, man, thanks a lot. NeoVim, I think, yes, that's NeoVim, and it's configured by Lua, and I have it on my GitHub profile. If you want, also the theme is called Talk Unite, and it's really amazing. So you don't have to actually search for it much. Just DM me and I will send you the whole config, right? No problem. To autocomplete, it's called yeah. So it's not an IDE. It's just if I go lazy here. This is my lazy config part, and I will update everything, sync, because that's important. And then something called autocomplete. If I search this now, auto pairs and auto session. Auto pairs, that pairs up. And if I do complete, I think I have it not called complete. Sorry, I think CMP and LSP will be the one doing that. So let me actually just go through them very quickly. LSP, config, tree, web, telescope, comments, trouble. Which key? I think also that's important. Tree sitter, bit maximizer, Mason, yeah, Mason tool installer, and LSP config. These two actually. And the LSP will have kind of like the configuration that you want to use, and you say, hey, I want to use JavaScript and Svelte maybe, and React, TypeScript and stuff like that. Therefore, if you go to Mason, this is the config part also for Mason. It's updating right now. If you go to formatters, you will find whatever you format with. I will update that. And also here you will have your LSPs, and you see that I use Emmet LS, and somewhere you will find also Tailwind and also TypeScript language server, TSLS it's called. Yeah, everything you will find it on GitHub, by the way. What idea? What is this? This is kind of an application that we created called Study With Me, right? Right now it has like multiple white noises that you can listen to. Some of them like this one here. Right, I don't know if you can listen. Can you listen, guys? And also it has some timers on top, and we're gonna build some other features to it, but right now we are making more secure where we are configuring the routes. So here we have the everything for the user as a console log basically, and we want to make it obvious how we can actually use the maybe the name to be put on top, yeah, with an icon for the profile, right? Which is a cool thing to have, kind of, yeah. Cool, thanks for asking though. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, let's continue. By the way, I stream also on Twitch, so if you want to see the full screen and go there and sit down and ask as many questions, that's it. I mean, also on Kick, we have everything everywhere basically, and I'm multi-streaming just to acquire as many followers as possible. But TikTok seems to be distributing like the live stream to as many people as possible, which is really nice, right? Cool. Now let's get back to here. I just know that my user, let me import that user. Did I call it just user like that? I'm not sure. If it's a type, I'll just go and blast it like, okay, you know what? I was thinking that I'll just make this like uppercase, but you know what? Leave it like that. Okay. Import user from, should be add types directly, maybe. Where did I put this? Okay. I honestly don't remember. Let me see. A user snippet, user ref, or maybe because I didn't save this one. From index, let me see where it is from source, and then types directly, right? Or is it types that is inside components? No, it's not. And then types, and then index.ts directly. So it should be like this. User. That's it actually. Should be nice to do. But the thing is that I feel like it's not getting exported correctly. Why other stuff is exported but not this one? Are we writing something wrong, or something is not working, which is weird. Yeah, wherever I will try to just put this as a, yeah, and then see if that still works. In this case it should be working, but my LSP probably is having trouble. Do you have videos on YouTube? Yeah, I do that sometimes. Yeah, let's just start my LSP just to make it detect everything. Yeah, it says that in the use auth. Oh, wait a second, and then I won't actually do it like right here. Let me just go to my use auth and define it over there, right? This would be a better way to do it, and it's a context, by the way, so I'm using this as a context. Your question was, hi there Moni, how there, use ChatGPT. No, I won't do that. Which software is that? Is NeoVim? Do you have a video on YouTube? Yes, I have some multiple videos, but they are just simple stuff, right? Cool. Nice. So here I actually set this to a type of null, which is wrong. I might be saying, yeah, it can be null, but also it should be user from that type. And now let's see how it actually, oh, that's interesting. Okay, cool. So now figure back and we hover about this and we go here to definition. It will always take us here, which is correct. So now we have the user. We have probably to set loading as something we can return for this context though. Why I returned it like this, I'm not happy actually with how I returned it, but I say here, hey, if data is there and is loading also is something that I want to take care of. It says it's not assigned to type null, and this is my context, right? Because the value of the auth provider needs not to be null for this. Okay, let me think. Okay, if that, it cannot be null. Why is that? Because my get profile always returns something. Yeah, okay. Type user null is not set to type null. Where do you see that though? This is odd. that is not firing any problem here. Even though that I want to test it out, I will just blast that in my header. So in my header I can go, okay, I will do it with you guys. So header, or you know what, I'll show you some trick. I can open a new one, I can do this. So now I can jump between tabs. So you see on top I have like some multiple tabs, so now I can jump between them. Any tips for learning Linux? Start with WSL, so you don't have to install it on your own computer. Just you install like as a Hyper-V kind of version of it, and start to learning like the small stuff, like how can you write a command, like how can you install stuff with Brew. Have a package manager like Brew, which is really popular, and if you have a Mac OS it will work like a charm, like super good. Then start to install stupid stuff. Like I can show you something very funny though. If I open here new, so I can jump between like terminals, just because I use Tmux for this, and I installed it by the way. So now I can say, hey, I want to, for example, like access NeoFetch. NeoFetch actually shows you what kind of kernel you are using, or maybe what kind of PC you're installing your WSL on. Also you can see HTOP, which is one package that shows you your processes, so you can know the PID for every process, and basically you can cancel it if you don't like it basically, and then you click Q for quitting, and then exit for exiting that, and then you have came back to your NeoVim instance. So try to kind of like do it like that, like slowly and steady at the same time. What are you building? I'm building like a TypeScript React white noise app. And if you are new, you can follow. I stream every day and we can learn together some stuff. All right. Have you used React hook forms? Actually, we use it here. We have it. So if you go to my, by the way, I have this project open for everybody. So you can go to components, you can go to routes, and then contact page, and here you go. Maybe the contact page is a bad idea, but let me see if I have anything else. I have a register function here, which works perfectly because the register function calls the API. So here you go. You want to see it? Just read it. I'm here. I'll be reading other questions, right? It's NeoVim, yeah. By the way, guys, please like this live stream and make it wide open for everybody. Also, if you help me out with sharing, that will be amazing. So I want to see these shares right now happening. That will be cool, because I'm trying to reach out to 10,000 followers as soon as possible, and I see, guys, that you are actually making it happen. So that will be totally cool. Thanks a lot, by the way. Yeah, it's so convenient, by the way, and I'm really happy that you learned it as well. It has this right here. I'm using kind of hook forms resolver Zod, which helps me to infer some stuff, and then I use that Zod resolver to be in the use form resolver part. And by the way, the chat showed me something with this hook form about is touch on blur on the mode of the use form. As you see, the mode is on blur, so whenever you actually blur out of the input, it just shows you the error. That was epic. I liked it so much. Yeah. What Copilot is that? This is not Copilot, by the way. I'm showing one in the chat. Have you worked with 3GS? No, I didn't work with that. That's a good question, by the way. I wish if I could just spare some time to do it, but maybe we'll work on something like that. What is your goal for state management in React? I would use Zustand right now or Redux Toolkit. That's my two things that I worked with. I know that there is like a lot of other stuff that are really cool. One of them, actually I forgot its name, but has a ghost icon in it. Very popular, but now it's not that much popular anymore. And I also like Redux from the beginning, so Redux Toolkit seems to be like Redux on steroid, and it's really nice. Yeah, Zod resolver is for validation here. I don't get your question here. He said that, can I not just import ChatGPT and change names? Names of what at this point? I don't understand. That's cool. All right. Cool. We are already at how many right now? 9,300 already. Nice. Thank you all. Like, honestly. By the way, I actually pick from what we do here. Like, I pick the stuff that I talk about and I make them into videos. So what you need to do is just go to my profile and you will find everything that I talk about basically in the live streams, which is awesome for you to also go back and check what I talked about, or maybe if you miss a live stream, you can just find it there. And yes, why not use Next.js? That's a very good question, because at this point I didn't know that I will build a backend. I built the backend just to make this register functions and stuff. And it turns out that if I use Next.js, it will be even totally easier. But next time we are totally doing that. Yeah. And on my next app, I will do it. Yeah. Yeah, Vinton said that the stand is really good. Yeah, the stand is one of the best, and it has this global store action thingy that I like. So you can write your action on a file. You can do it like this. I'll actually show you what I mean by that. You can go and have it exactly like this. So you had the stand as your provider for your state, right? And then you will have usually that you write every folder. For example, you have a user states, right? So the state of the user, you can maybe store his name, or for a profile header or something like that, address, or whatever you want to store. I don't care, but the thing is that it's up to you here. But you can actually also edit something. So you want to edit that state at some point. Maybe he changed his address, right? So the edit part, you can actually split this into two things. Edits, which is for what we call actions, right? And something else for a state definition, kind of, right? And then you compare this, or may not compare, you like do the union between them whenever you need. So you say, hey, I want the global store to work, so global of user, so you can put it into strings maybe, right? But I want to get maybe from this state, right, which is the definition of the state, and then you return the state itself. Or if you don't want to load the whole thing, you can say, hey, I want just the name, and then you come here and just structure that name, which is really convenient. I really like it, right? And when you structure this, you can structure also edit name kind of function, or set name, or something like that. It will for sure be called set something, but getters and setters and is actually more of an OOP language thingy, but this is also something that you can do with Zustand, which is really convenient. Yeah, and you can call whatever you need here, so it will returns that without destruction if you need to. This handwriting is really bad. I know. I will try. I will try. That's why I try to speak and do whatever, so I can just follow with you, because I cannot be like, okay, you go to the, let's say, global. Okay, even my A is super bad. Global dot merge, and you take actions, and this will be very odd. Like for people will be just, okay, whatever. Move on. Cursor AI or Cursor as an IDE? I don't have a Telegram group, sadly, but I have a Discord group. You can go to my profile. In my profile, you will have under like a link here, and that link is just the Discord server. So in Discord, we have just like chat about stuff on React, or maybe we chat about what to do in the future, right? That's it. AI, I never used it actually. Yeah, the Cursor AI. Nice. All right, cool. So this is the app, if you are asking about what we're building. Right now, let's try to see if we can actually put the name of the user over there, because now we are using the use auth thingy that I am honestly, oops, what is happening? Am I on caps lock? Yes. Okay. Yeah. So I was showing this header, and then I could get the current user from there. So now we know that we have a current user. That's why we have a logout. But you know what? If I just put here an icon, this is a flex, right? Okay, the gap of 1. Let's make it a gap of 2 or 4, just to play with it a bit, right? And I'll just call an icon. Let me see. Maybe there is like ChatCN profile thingy. Okay, let me see about that. Is there a ChatCN profile component? Okay, ChatCN profile icon component. Yeah, I think I remember there's something like that. Avatar, yes, avatar. Code, so you have avatar and you can just add avatar. Alright, let's see if we have that into UI. I don't have it, so we need to add it. So let's clear this, and that's what we put there, and we enter. We wait a bit for sure until it installs. Oh, it will update our ChatCN, I think. Oh no, it's good. Right, now npm run dev. You see now that my backend also will run, so it gets deleted and then rerun again, and then now it gets to start the dist server from the GS file, not the GS file, because that's the part that you want to run. GS will not run, it needs to be transpiled first. So now let's call the avatar from Radix, from UI, yes, avatar, and then just close it up to see how it looks. And by the way, I don't need to do it like this. I know that exactly. I can call it from my components, UI, done, then avatar. That's more clean, kinda, right? Than what it was. Alright, cool. So you see here, I have this alt context as well, so fuck that. Let me see if I can grab it like this, auth context. Oh, I don't know where I put it, actually. Components. Slash, here you go. That's it. Nice, that's cleaner. That's what we want to have. Right. So now I don't see my app anymore. Oh, I have it, but the avatar seems to be there, but without anything. Why? Because it's inside the button, by the way. That's wrong. I need to put it outside. But now I don't see any image in it. Maybe because the gap is actually super big. Let me just return it to 4 pixels, or maybe 8 pixels. By the way, I say 8 and I type 2 because in basically Tailwind you always multiply by 4. So if I say gap of 2 means gap of 8 pixels, right? What is this? This is we are actually, after working on the use auth part for our GWT passport.js login part, we are actually moving to create like a profile image, right? And that's it. I mean, the profile needs to get something. I think it needs to get an image. So I will get my image kind of work to it. So now for the avatar to work, I think we need not to do it like that. So we need to actually return it as a complete avatar with an avatar image. That's why it's not working. So what we need to do here is just to write it like that. I'll just delete this. And it says, hey, I cannot get the avatar fallback and avatar image. So what you need to do, you go upstairs and you just import them. So avatar image should be there and avatar fallback should be there. And what will happen here actually for the fallback part is that if you don't have a correct image, then therefore it will be taking you to like a fallback one, right? So my fallback one will be always white one, kinda. But now if we look at it and if we look at how it looks, it is on top. I don't know if you can see it, but here you go, there we go, on top there. I hope that you can see correctly this one here. But the thing is that now this is looking a bit odd. So these two needs on mobile view to go to the right side, right? And on normal view like this, they need always to go together on the side, right? So this should be between these two together, right? So what we need to do, we see where the button is. So the button is there. We can actually simply surround them by a tag, and this tag is going to be just simple div. And there would go like that, right? Which is really bad right now. And what I'm gonna add right here, I'll just add the class name of flex, and this flex will be flex of row, and automatically it's a flex of row. So I'll just do item center, and then I will do justify center as well. Now if I save this, it will just be like that. I'll only look for the gap now. I can do a gap of x, which is just simple gap. And yeah, let me just return here, go to C, center, word. You cannot see it because the screen is there, but I will just do the gap and you see it moving correctly, right? So there's a gap of 3 of 12 pixels, right? Maybe I can actually, yeah, that's it. Yeah, that looks good, actually. I really like it. And for the people actually I'm following on Twitch, you can also see it on the top screen. So now I have a logout button. This will take me always to the login page. She's very bright. Oh my gosh, my eyes hurt for this. And then that's it. You just log in. Hopefully you can be routed correctly now. I use the navigation part, which takes you here and tells you check your password. The password you used was found in a data breach, which is really nice. Oh man, I should check my passwords. By the way, it's just a mock password. Yeah, so you don't have to worry. Create an array and map those links. I don't need to, man. I really don't need to. How long have you been doing this? I've been doing this for more than 6 years professionally and more than 10 years on my spare time. Which theme is that? That's Tokyo Night theme, by the way. For the app or for NeoVim? For NeoVim, it's basically Tokyo Night theme. Yeah. Cool. You guys have any questions about this? You see what I added? It's just on top of my head, this one here. So I put a gap 3. Do you know what is a gap 3 in Tailwind? It's just multiplied by 4, it's 12. And that's it. You just move like that. So you guys are asking what is this? Yes, I use Tailwind and I do a lot of Tailwind these days. Alan said he did JS for years and he likes it. That's nice. JavaScript and TypeScript, yes. I'm a TypeScript developer, React developer, JS developer. Call myself a JavaScript developer, actually. That's just it. Bro, you say that like you have experience. What do you mean by that? I don't really get your phrase over here. How many years have you been programmer? A lot. And I also use not only JavaScript, that's the funny part, because I was also using Java. I also used Python a bit. And as a front end, that's my focus lately. So that's why we are doing the React project here. And that's it. And with Tailwind, it makes it even easier to learn how to do CSS and stuff like that. What UI framework icons are you using? Yeah, I think I have it on top. So if I do, it's React icons. Yeah, React icons seems to have a really good pair of icons that you can use, and these icons are really amazing. Let me show you that. I think we visited them. React icons. Yeah, this is it. So on GitHub, they store all their icons into like a small website where you can go and find them. Sadly enough, they don't have move like icons that move kind of thingy. Remix icon maybe. I want something that if you hover on top of it, it just works like a bit of GIF or something on it. But I don't think that that's their thing. It's just simple icons, static icons, let's say. But they are really amazing actually. And if I zoom in more, you can see them in a better shape. So they have these kind of icons, which are cool. I wish if they were moving somewhere, if you hover, but sad. Simple line icons, these are good to use for like pagination or something. My favorite component UI library probably is Shatsian, which I'm using also here. But there is a lot of them. There is even a Tailwind UI library that I use sometimes for headers and stuff like that. Yeah, so they also use the font awesome part of icons as well. So they are merging with these nowadays. But these have a lot of pro stuff, so you don't have to do it. You can do it with React icons like this one over here, which is totally good. This say ASMR. Well, maybe with the keyboard it will be, but yeah, I forgot totally that I can actually navigate with my keyboard. Nice. And by the way, let me show you something. If you go to my GitHub, let me just try to use the keyboard only, and then go below, you will find out, 1 second, if I go H white noise, you'll find out here that I have this project, exact project, right? And you can see that we are working on the source part of the for the React part of it, right? Cool. I mean, yeah, I try my best to kind of explain as much as I can, and it seems cool that people like it. All right. Clark Kent. Isn't Clark Kent the name of Superman? I mean, I get the point. I really think that if Marvel continue to flop, DC will really shine in the next few years. So maybe our children will actually grow up to see that DC is shining more than Marvel. I'm just saying this out of no context. And thanks a lot. When I said that's it, I mean, I know that sometimes it's hard to keep up with this kind of stuff. That's why I share with you guys always these roadmaps and stuff. So if I go here, and why did I just take off my screen? 1 second. We always have this roadmap website open. Where is it? And I say, please go check it out, because it has all the things that I did, right, to follow up. For example, I'm still really bad at understanding cores and how it works, for example. I still really bad. If I go to full stack, I don't even understand how to do, where is it, GWT auth correctly, for example. I did it here because I have an idea, but okay, it's easier for now that you have an idea to do this kind of stuff, because you know exactly the mechanism, the architecture of all of this. So if I say to myself, hey, I want to do an application that is backend and frontend, I know that my front will be here, right? This is my front. My back will be here. And the first thing that I will actually think of, if I was actually before as a junior doing this, I will not think about, let's say, server-side events. All right. Okay, 1 second, guys, because I think we have an interruption. Cool, we're back. All right. So if I was doing actually this before, I would not think about server-side events, for example. I would not think about maybe server-side rendering as well. So these are two different topics. Server-side events, what you actually can use with WebSockets nowadays, right? One of the things that you can use is WebSockets IOs, which is a package that can communicate alerts to you. Let's say you are here on the front end and your connection to the backend dropped. You probably want to see an alert on top, right? So that's server-side event. So I would not think about this. I will not also think about SEO. Do you know what is SEO? SEO is basically search engine optimization, search engine. I'll try to write it optimization with Z, hopefully, right? And this is what makes you popular, right? What makes you index on Google easier, right? And these alerts needs to be there in a second base. So imagine you dropped, you are updating something and there is no connect. So you click submit, nothing happens. So don't know why. You need to get these responses on the second side, right? So happen now on the server, you get it directly, right? So yeah, I mean, these kind of stuff are things that I start to think about right now, not before. And if you tell me, hey, but someone will tell you, okay, let's do this server-side events and alerts. This will open a new topic. What should I use as a UI, right? And you know what will save you? Actually, if your application is like a multi-screen application and it has, let's say, always a sidebar and always a header, and under that header you will have an alert, right? But then comes the other part, which is the content. And the content is scrollable here, right? So the thing is that you don't want to put your alert on your content part, because then each page you go to, you need actually to render again the alerts by querying the API, which is a disaster. what you need to do here is to create a layout. This is what we call a layout. Okay, layout with O, by the way. Yeah, and in this layout you will put these alerts. So the layout will be this part of the application, right, which never changes wherever you go. That's why if you do a React app, you will see a lot of people using this kind of layouts, right? Which is kind of odd for everyone to use the same kind of design, but it's also funny because that's how you get people going and that's how you make the framework popular. Okay, cool. I mean, I hope this answered your question. And by the way, I see a lot of people asking on Twitch and stuff like that, what you're doing and stuff like that. How can we support you? How can we follow you and stuff like that? So if you want support, you have like the subscription button on my profile as well. It costs, I think, €2 or something. You can do it, but you don't have to as well. Please don't if you don't have to, because honestly, I do this for fun and I'm trying also to learn while I teach, kind of. Yeah, cool. So also, yeah, you can just follow. That would be amazing because we are trying to reach out to 10,000 as soon as possible. Right now we are at 9,000, nearly 400, and if we do 10,000 in the upcoming 2 days, that would be amazing. We still have today, February 27th and 28th as well, so it's gonna be epic, right? Inactivity option. Let's go and save this. All right, what's the difference between RESTful and WebSockets? Well, you can talk about it like this. So this is very funny thing, right? Imagine you are entering a restaurant, right? What you will get when you enter the restaurant is how many tables there. So each table will have chairs to it, right? And I will answer all the questions, by the way. I can see them all, so don't worry. I just want to make a story out of everyone so you can understand it and never gets out of your head. And there is a big table here where there will be 12 people to sit probably. And there will be table here, table here, table here. And let's do 2 chairs and these, right? So a server-side event, how it works here. You are just here as a person waiting for someone to handle your seating, right? So in this case, there's 2 things. There is one that you will ask for, so you need someone to assist you with that, right? Usually in the beginning you don't need to ask, right? So this guy will come to you and just directly ask you what you want. So that's something that you don't really ask for. They just do it by default. So that by default event, by default, let's call it like that, BYD as the car, is probably a server-side event, which means that server-side event happens when something gets triggered by either it saw something different or either it got triggered by an action without you triggering that action itself. So here this guy will come to you and ask you, hey, maybe table number 12 is actually empty. Please go here and sit down, right? Another server event that you will have, and by the way, server event, that's why I'm writing this bit, because these are called also servers in a restaurant. They will come to you and they give the menu, right? The menu here is also kind of like a server event. The menu can change at any time, depending on if they have that amount, like item or not, right? The moment that you sit down here, let's say you sit down already, and you raise your hand to say something, right? Which is literally something that you need from the kitchen. Let's say you need a fork or something like that. That's basically an action that you took, right? So this is a RESTful action. So for you, if you want to think about it like this, whenever you ask willingly, like RESTful willingly for something, then you are asking for a RESTful API to actually work for you. One of them is like get menu, get sweets menu. What is it that called when you want like the sweets menu? And dessert, get dessert menu or something like that. So it's something on top, right? So that's something that you ask for, which is a RESTful willingly action. Otherwise, if it came directly like this, everybody gets bread, right? So that's a server-side event. Here the bread can can like server notice that you have no bread, so he comes with another bread, right? And think about it like that. In real world though, you have an application and you have something happening in the backend. They are communicating, right, with REST APIs that you trigger whenever you want. So you submitted a form, the form is registered in the DB, right? But that DB, then something updated at the database, let's say weather, right? Updated, and then you need that as a server event, and this needs to be catched, and you need it instantly. So for example, I don't know, tornado is happening outside or something like that. And that's it. I mean, I hope that this is kind of not very bad explanation, but I think this is what I will do to explain it to a kid, kind of. So unwillingly is just server side, so you just want things to come up very, very cool and very fast, and you don't have to wait for them. And by the way, one of the things that you can do this is the chat applications. So when you actually type in your messages, you say hi here, right? You are now waiting for your friend to write. You see these dots here happening? They are actually detecting that he's writing, right? Whenever he writes, it will take maximum 1 second, right? So why is that? Because in the backend, there is a server side socket, what we call socket, that is listening for your conversation. Not listening, but doing the engine. It's like an engine for your conversation. Whenever you write something, it will take it to real time, and this will be real-time response, right? So it can be like this. You send it sent, and it sends you back delivered, right? Your friend will be on the other part of the screen. The moment you sent, he will get delivered, and then the moment he sends that, you will get delivered. And that's it. I mean, that's how I think about it. If maybe there's other thing to it, or maybe they come tomorrow and do something new, please don't take me for granted and try to learn it, because that's how you do this kind of stuff. You keep learning as much as you can, right? Cool. Let's go. Some guy actually commented about the DC thingy that I said. DC does shine, but it's not all the movies. DC characters are better. Yeah, DC characters, I think they're better, and yeah, the thing is that right now Marvel is having more investors, let's say, because the last Flash movie from DC was whack because they didn't have that much money to spend on CGI, I think. And yes, course is notorious. I had to actually just go up to read these comments. Now I will go down again. And FBI is written silently but hidden poker. That's correct, actually. The thing is that let's say you are using messages for this, right? The messages app, right? The messages app is something shared, I think, with the FBI. But when it's shared with the FBI is when they catched you, like they need to catch you as a person, and they need your fingerprint. Let's do it like this, right? And they say that they cannot force you to get your fingerprint, but they can take it anyhow, using another ways, kind of. And Apple says you are secure, and they cannot take anything unless they have your fingerprint, which is personal. Nobody will take it, but yeah. The funny part is that these sockets and stuff, that's what they can get into and buy from Apple. So whenever Apple will go like plummet, let's say right now OpenAI is plummeting because of DeepSeek, and they feel like, oh my gosh, we are having a really big problem, 500 let's say billion down, or they are like a 2 trillion company or something like that. Let's sell data. They will sell these data. They will sell imprints to the FBI. So your data will be there probably. But yeah, you wait for this drop kind of thing. Yeah. Anyhow, okay. Some guy Eric said, "Hello, my friend." He's a MERN senior too. Nice. I'm actually I'm using MongoDB true, but in this project I'm using more of, let's say, PostgreSQL for the database, but yeah, PostgreSQL with Prisma. Yeah, cool. My theory is just quite accurate because I know that I looked at it. So when you buy, for example, let's see how it is. Okay, so you have, when you buy a car from BMW, for example, right, you have this heads up display, right? Cool. And you have also the other display on the side, right, where you see your car display when you can, so for example, play what is it called, like for the music and stuff like that. I always have Shopify in my head, but the other one, Spotify. Yeah, Spotify, right? So Spotify needs to use a protocol to work on this display, right? So they sell it this protocol and they say, hey, please Spotify, in order for you to run this, you need to do that, right? To be access to this display and also the heads up display as well, right? The thing is that Spotify will have its own engineers. They are working from another place and they have nothing to do with BMW as a car and stuff like that. They know that they are working on this certain computer, small chip in that car, and that chip is a Linux based and they can install their own application, right? So let's not talk about how many nulls you will see on your type. So if you go to every type, because these are actually also Flutter applications that use JavaScript also and React Native sometimes and stuff like that. So you have a lot of types, and because they push for it, so we have to deliver a car every year, by the way. So 2024 now, they already sent all their cars in last April. So now they are waiting to ship the 2025, right? So they need updates for this. So they will, what will they say? We sold you the protocol for a whole year. Now where is my update, my Spotify update, kinda? And where is my map update? Where is this, right? So the developers will be like, okay, what should I do? What is my promise? Oh, my promise here returns a void. You know what? Let it be null. Whatever I will do for it right now to do. It's like a peak production code, right? So they will start shipping these small odds, right? And these small odds will go into production, and then production again. So then let's talk about the heads up display. Some engineer will come someday from BMW themselves and be like, okay, I'm working on the Bragnos system to know if you are going from A to B, let's say, how much time you will take. All right. So here in the heads up display, you have the songs here, which is from, let's say, Spotify. And you have the map here showing you the direction after like 3 miles or something, whatever you need to do. In order for him actually to edit this kind of stuff, he probably will touch multiple components for gridding, for stuff like that. So the thing is that they will start to kind of drop stuff. Like they would say, okay, we will drop this whenever you want to click on a button to maximize the screen to see only the map. So when they drop this, they probably have like a minimized Spotify app and a full Spotify app. They will leave this still running there, but it's hidden kind of. So with these hidden components being there, these become breaches in the future. They become kind of like problems, right? And what you will see there is that at some point they want to work on that map again and they want to calculate this faster. So they say, okay, you know what? We have no idea now what we wrote here. We have like 100 components to understand. So let's just share the data about the car that passed first. So this is a road. And there is a car here that passed before you, kind of, right? And this car passed at a 60 mile per hour. Then I don't know why I'm talking miles, by the way. And then for some reason it went 30 miles per hour, right? So this is kind of like an indication for them that there is basically a lot of rush hour there, right? So based on this data, they will just put the data in your screen for heads up display. And that's the problem when they start to use that, because they want to get rid of this architectural problems, and then your data start to flow. Then comes the funny part, is that whenever they want to switch their maps and stuff like that, they have to give these APIs to other companies to work on, like the consultancy companies, right? And then the consultancy companies will be like, oh, wait a second, give me 10,000 user data to actually work on, to know when will they stop like this. Will it actually be really a problem for them when they reduce the speed that correctly this is a rush hour, and they feed it to another API, right? And this API is maybe ChatGPT to read it or something like that. There will come also another scientific guy, data science, and he will be like, yeah, I know to put this data in Databricks, basically, to actually feed it, to train it, so I know exactly if this data will be accurate. It will be accurate, 92 probably percent, 2% accurate. But you see now, we started from a heads-up display, we ended up actually consulting and putting like things in ChatGPT, in Databricks, and selling like some data there, selling some data here. So if you think that your data is secure, probably you're a madman, honestly. The only thing that you need to use your data for right now is like to know that you're really secure, is, I don't know, is just to store it as an image or something like that. So this is the story about companies nowadays. They never work everything internally. Why? Because they think about it like this, right? If Google comes today and say, hey, I want to invest in a new application, but I want to make it super fast and ship it fast, do you think they will build it on Seattle or something, or San Francisco, where one engineer will cost them $500K a year? So they need to actually spend, I don't know, like 300 millions on 600 engineers to build like some new application? No, they will probably take 10 millions, ship these to India, and in India they will have somewhere a company called, I don't know, like Tech Solutions or something like that, or they always be called Tech Solutions or something like this. Here you will have always a word like Solo Tech Solutions, or Map Tech Solution, or Fast Tech Solution, or Fast API Tech Solutions. They always called like that, or Data Tech Solutions, and they would work the whole thing, and they will pay 600 engineers with these 10 millions in 2 years actually, and you will save no money. But what you are doing here is just selling the whole thing without you knowing if your data is correct or not. Yeah, that's it. I mean, especially if you do this, if you do actually work with engineers that use WSL or something like that, where they can connect from their own computer. Oh, this is super good, because they have a root access, or what we call SSH, and they will have an IP address to just log into like the cloud server there. And right now we kind of like, in some companies, we just ask them to like, please do like this authorization with SMS, so you know that you are correct. But what you don't know, that the WSL 2.0 now, if you copy something from like Clipboard here, it's available on the Clipboard also outside environment, right? So if this guy has a keylogger here or something like that, then it's dumb to actually tell him to do an auth, SMS auth or something like that. Yeah. I don't know if you like what I was talking about. If I will continue doing this, maybe explain to you things that happens in a daily job and stuff. But this is really peak production thing, right? And this is what happens when cybersecurity is taken with less, let's say, seriousness, right? So honestly, it happened because I know BMW now, how they look at the data and stuff. And when I told you that when you actually click on the brake, they count how much time you took to actually went from 60 to 30 miles, let's say. And they will give you like, oh, okay, there is a rush hour here. Let us actually provide this to our Indian offshore map builders. So they actually build in the map this red dot that tells you, hey, there is rush hour in this road. But actually this is just data play, and honestly I don't like it. Yeah. You know what, like companies like Adobe nowadays, for example, they have like hopped into the Gen AI thingy, which Gen AI for Photoshop, that you probably saw, right? I work at Adobe, by the way, so I'm gonna give you a sneak peek. The thing is that they focused with this since last October. Enter marketing now. They were working on Photoshop, on Reader, on Express, and they had their own roadmaps, right? So they had every quarter, let's say Q1, Q2, they have a focus, right? Q3. And there is, let's say, 5,000 people working worldwide, because you have MENA itself, like Middle East, North Africa, has like 16 languages that you can work with for marketing itself. And then AI came, and this is when AI actually made the problem. It took the whole thing like this. Delete all of this. Now we are going to talk about only Gen AI, right? Which made the problem, because even me as a developer, I had my page like this. It had Adobe Pro. Let me write it correctly. An Adobe Standard. And there you choose from this, buy this monthly, buy it yearly, or buy it with prepaid, right? Options, and then submit button, right? Now I have, as a developer, even myself got a problem. I had to update this with another block here called Gen AI, called Gen AI, called Gen AI. So now you need to probably scroll to see the submit button. So this means that you are actually doing less conversions on your CTA. So what we call click-through rate on payroll or something like that, on payment or whatever, is gonna be lowered, like 50% sometimes even, which is really a disaster. And then all the numbers will be low, and then you will have like a bourgeois layer here of people sitting down in their villas in the San Francisco Bay Area or whatever, Seattle towers or whatever, telling you, hey, you're shit at your job, do this correctly while you're sick, whatever, right? Which is really odd. I mean, this is the stress that you see right nowadays with the AI part, which I really hate, kind of, right? Cool. Jill said finally something that he can enjoy while being here on live streams. Well, that's cool. Oh, nice. So a new program, what language is that? I actually use TypeScript and React. But here, Eric asked about something when it comes to Lambda and stuff. And here our guy answered him that he did something yesterday with Remix and Lambda for a cloud front. That's amazing. Cool stuff, honestly. How do you plan your front end? I plan it architecturally. Actually, I was talking about it. I think we have it downstairs. I deleted it. I plan it like this. I go front end. I always start by my routes, right? I know everything, and I define the packages. So I know 10 stack router, 10 stack query, for example. And then I go hooks, because I know exactly what I'm going to use, right? And I define the hooks. So let's say use debounce, use fetch, and if not, if I'm going to use 10 stack query, then I don't need the use fetch. And I sometimes think about stuff that I can add up there. And then I start with my helper functions, helpers, right? And I call them sometimes utils, so it's up to you. Yeah, and then you go to your backend developers and ask them actually for certain stuff, like public stuff, like what is public, what is not. GWT if you're using, auth stuff, maybe auth 0, notifications or something like that, SSE, SEO also. So SEO is actually wraps up the whole thing, and maybe you go for Next.js. And it branches out for testing. Also, you talk to them. So you say, if I'm using Next.js, probably Cypress will be end to end here, and it will be really amazing. But I work also on front end only, so that's also a burden, because you'll only talk about forms and stuff like that. So you say, hey, okay, my route's defined, so now let's go to the contact page, what we need to put there. Probably React hook form. Probably I'll be talking about Zod, about some adapters. Maybe you want to actually infer some types, right? And this types also, you'd say, hey, how can I actually store this? If I have my contact page as a folder, then the folder will be this, maybe an index.ts here. Maybe you'll have schemas here, right? And maybe you'll have types.ts as well. So it will be like this all the time, right? .ts as well, right? This is .tsx. So then you will know the structure for all your folders, and you will move step by step, and you go back until you reach out again how the routes will be structured, and so on and so forth. That's a good question from Lod. He said, how do you plan your front end? But that's what I just explained right now. Yeah, why my site can be open on by other user and sometimes, or what is the reason I'm using Infinity? I don't get your question here. Maybe you can elaborate and just explain. Is that new Vim? Yes, it is. Auth using server actions or client? I'm using server actions with also client, just for a use auth function that returns a context. Office script. What is that, Chunky? Maybe you can explain to me. Arena said cool stuff for the stuff that I was actually explaining for cybersecurity part. Yeah, thank you. I mean, I hope that it's cool enough, but I try my best. We are actually 9,400 right now. We probably won't be able to reach 10,000 today, but that's the dream if we can do it. Okay, so you want me to show you the use auth part, right? I actually have it, but I'm not happy with it right now. Okay, you know what, how we can test it? Just 1 second, I will go back there, because the avatar here has something to it. I want to just add some text, and for this text I'm gonna use current user dot name. I think I have name in my current user, hopefully. Yeah, but it's possibly null, it says. Okay, so now that's fine if it's possibly null. That's totally fine for me. I can actually just put something like that just to store that away, and also I can just cast it as a string, so just to be sure 100%. Or you know what, let's not do it. Alright, so that's what I did right now, so I can see if that works, and this is the use auth. You can read it while I check if we have the name already. Yes, we have the name. So it's called John Smith. Yeah, it's always there. Whenever I refresh, I will get the current user anyhow. Now the problem that I'm having is the navigation part. So now how can I make this use auth strictly used in my application, right? Probably need to work with Tanstack, right? Yeah, cool. Then I will put actually the name again, but not inside the avatar. I will put it next to the button, and maybe I will you know what, I will surround this. Oops, I'll surround this by a span just for the sake of it right now, and see how that will work. Did I just close that? I will open it in a new file, use auth or header. Yeah, so now I can switch between my tabs. I will delete this console log, and current user can be null. That's what he's saying. So let's change that part. Let's go to our use auth and actually take off the null part, because I honestly don't want to have that then if it's null. And let's see. It says it can be of type of null. Just put an empty object for now. And it can be undefined, but I can just put here that it will never be, or I can just put it on the end. Okay, how can we play around this? Alright, then let's return it to that and return the type from there, and maybe go to our header and say if our current user your auth can be either, or we can do it actually here of type user. Hopefully we can get that type. I think we can. Yeah, cool. And it says that it can be null still, but that's fine because we want to play around it. And we can say that if that's null, we can just play around it over here, saying, hey, only if we have current user with the end operator, and also here as well. Yeah, but that's fine because there we have a ternary operator anyhow. Just joint, will I comprehend? Well, depends. This is React, yes. Oh, Spike says that he doesn't touch code anymore, but what is C-line or Klein or whatever it is? Bro, how do you handle too many renders? I try to use as less use effects as possible. And yeah, that helps a lot. Yeah. Okay, cool. We're actually close to 9,500 followers. Okay guys, let's make it happen. Let's reach out to 9.5k. So now as that is working, saying the null is not subtype user. Why is that? In this case, let's just drop the null part and leave this as empty. Yeah. But here the current value will be the problem. And then the provider will have a problem with it. Yeah. Yeah. Or undefined, probably. That's what would be the option here. May that work? The problem is here it should be as user. I put as a string just to test it out. Okay. And we need actually the current user dot name. But where do I actually cast it as type null? Does the provider actually have that? Types for the provider? I'm not sure actually if I use that. I use children, which is k, that's it. And then maybe in the use query, the data actually must receive something like that. But it's kind of odd. Okay, we can just follow up on this later on. Where is this null coming from? Maybe the chat knows. You can talk more about using less effects. What do you mean by that? Bro, how do you handle too many renders? That's cool, but let me explain to you how use effect works, because this is probably will be good for you to chat. By the way, I have a video on it, but I need you chat to kind of like work with me on this, okay? So let's define it, right? We have here a use effect, and there is 3 uses for it dependent on the dependency array. So we have no dependency array, empty dependency array, and values dependency array. So guys, what is the difference? You tell me. I will hear you here in the chat, so I will be listening to you. Anybody knows? Okay, fetch and data will make re-renders, but which case in these 3 is the fetch and data case, right? Let's talk about it that way. Maybe that makes it better for you, yeah, to understand. So if you have no dependency array, right, this will run only once, and that's it, right? If you have an empty dependency array, will run on component, we will call it comp mount, or let me write the mount over here, plus on any state update. here will run same, right? Will run on comp mount for sure, plus on the values state mentioned. I mean, my handwriting is really bad because I'm using the mouse, by the way. So in this case, this will be the safest, right? This is what you can go for. And this, unless you are really wanted to run only once. By the way, it comes with a return function, so make sure to use it. All right, this is what we call a cleanup function. Cleanup function that cleans up after you whenever you need it, right? I mixed up no arrays and arrays. I don't think so, right? We'll run on component mount and any state update. If it's an empty array, it should be doing like that, right? And then maybe, yeah, here, all right, we need to check it. I'm not sure, maybe here you are actually right. But it must be one of the two. So, and they are both actually similar. But yeah, I agree with you. I might actually mixed up on this, but yeah. But I'm sure that if you have an empty dependency array, it will run on every state update actually. Yeah. Maybe we can search it. Yeah, I will search it up also and I will let you know. But this is kind of like the core thing of it, right? Yeah, okay, so this is actually the mixed up part. These two needs to mix them up, as our friend in the chat actually said. Because yeah, it makes sense, because if you have an empty array, it means that it will run only once. And if you have an empty no array at all, it will run on every render of any state, right? Yeah, sorry about that. Maybe you just can just flip them up, right? Yeah, only runs on mount. That's correct. Yeah, yeah. Cool. I'm sure if no dependency wouldn't just run once. All right, let's correct it then. Do we have a tool for this? Yeah, let's just do it. This one and this one. Sorry, I have like 2 neurons left in my brain. Yeah. So if there is no dependency array, we'll run on every state update, and this will run once, but also once the app is mounted. Yeah, and this plus for sure when comp mounts, kind of. Yeah. How do you get started onto this? What is the best way? I think the best way is just to build stuff, and as you see, I still even sometimes mess around with this and not know what I'm doing. And yeah, I think the also good way to do this in another way is just to build small projects, right? And these small projects will help you out to grow, like very, like potentially to have your own level. If you do, for example, 2 hours per day for a year, you will be on a junior level, plus maybe tending toward middle 100%, even though that you don't have a job, because you did this consistently and you're doing it every day. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. All right, thank you, I mean, for asking. Some guy said, but when you gonna get some hoes? I don't know, guys, if you know, but I'm actually married and I have a kid. My kid is actually now nearly, I think he's 10 months. He was born in April last year. And I'm really happy. Like he's really having a lot of fun lately. I still need to make him a passport. I don't have time for that shit. That's why I live stream every day and I wake up at 9 a.m. and I find myself already on the daily after 30 minutes. But I live in Germany, by the way, the most bureaucratic country in the world. So to make a paperwork, you need kind of like to wait for ages. Yeah, he's welcome. I mean, he loves computers already so much. But that's bad for kids. That's why I actually, when I code or something like that, I make sure that he's asleep. Because honestly, the screens are very bad for children. Basically, they take kind of their attention without you knowing, and then you end up with literally stupid kids. That's what you end up with. I don't want to say this because it's kind of makes sense also that you don't want your child to have like problems with senses, and he needs like to go outside, breathe air, do stuff like that. Yeah. Some guy asked, bist du ein Deutscher? Actually, I'm not. I have a blue card that is extended to be permanent resident, but I still have my Tunisian passport, so I have one of the worst passports in the world, which is Tunisia. I think it's one of the worst. Kinda, you can go nowhere. But Tunisia actually very funny. It helped the Japanese government in the 50s. So Japan probably is one of the 3 small countries that or big countries that accept us to go without a visa. Otherwise, Europe actually you need a visa to go to here. So for example, imagine if you come to here, you cannot have your parents joining you until you have a job or something like that. Yeah. How do you balance software dev work and general life? I mean, it's kind of odd because for example, right now I have time for my family, I have time for these live streams, for example, and have time for work. And work takes 8 hours per day from your life. So basically, I cannot go to the gym often, let's say, right? That something will be taken from you, kind of. So what you do is try your best, right? So general life for me is to play a video game, go outside, have a coffee. So we have a routine with the family, like with my wife and stuff. We have a routine where every Wednesday we go for a coffee outside. Let's even like we have the kid crying his lungs out. We just take him and we try to make him sleep on the way. And we just go to have a coffee with like some drink or whatever, or maybe some cake or whatever we buy from like a bakery, and we sit down and we just watch. There was like a moment where I actually thought about it. I was actually walking through a street like for a year now, and always I see a bench in it. Like there's a bench in the street, and this bench I never sit in it. Like I never sit at it and look and enjoy my day and say like, a moment to breathe and maybe look at the sky or something like that. Last time we went like for just a restaurant or something like that, and I was going home. I stopped my car in a random place and I just saw a bench. I went there and I sat with my wife and kid, and we just sat. That's it. Like sitting literally becomes an activity for you. Doing nothing becomes an activity for you, which is kind of odd. But also it's kind of cool because I'm trying my best. I come from a very, very, very poor background. We don't have much. My dad was actually a truck driver, let's say, right? And as a truck driver, he gets like 600 euros as a salary or something like that, which is in Tunisia then was good, but now it's like became 200 euros or something. And he, by the way, passed away when I'm like super young. So we have like that pressure to work as hard as we can so we can just survive, right? But funny enough, now I'm good with everything. Like I don't really need money. I have money though, like the way I want it, and I make really decent amount. I can net 10k a month just doing nothing, which is really odd. Like for some people can be like a very much of a good salary that they try all their lives and probably they cannot get it, right? So that's like the difference between you working hard for a living and you working hard to make people have a better life. It's two different things, right? So you work for everybody at some point, yeah, which is cool. So now I can just take a month or two not working and say, hey, I will just be this dad for my child and just do nothing. Right now I am working at 2 companies, right? One of them is an intern, which is not intern internal, I mean. I work as a front-end senior developer with them, and I do React with them. It's called SFC Energy, and I joined them literally 1.5 years ago, and they are the best, right? But 1 year ago I opened my company, a small startup. Yes, that's what I, for example, if we finish with this project, I will just monetize it and we will put it there. We will buy a VPS for it, and we will put it there, right? So this startup is not doing very well because I am building SaaSes in it. So if there is a SaaS, I will be happy. If there is no SaaS, I will be sad. But it got noticed by Adobe, the company Adobe, and they bought my service. Basically, my service is like helping them with their Spectrum, CSS, AI, Gen AI stuff, their IPM pages, their pages for that they ship out as marketing pages to make people buy their product. So that is my second job, kind of. Yeah, but I don't do much in it, honestly. It's just coding when I have time, and also I do my best to kind of deliver stuff the time that I can deliver. Yeah, and sometimes it's too much of hustle because they are a big company and they have a lot of politics, and they can change anything anytime, and I hate that, honestly. I think I'm becoming a German, even though that I'm not. I just need my inputs and outputs to be clear from the beginning. Yeah. Yeah, Germany tech market bringing a lot of MERN engineers, and I think lately it's also plummeting. You know, I used to have 4 calls every day, people trying to hire me. Now for 2-3 months I am panicking, actually. I'm not having no calls at all. Maybe I need to revive my LinkedIn. That could be also one thing, to write more articles. But I hate how LinkedIn became. LinkedIn became like TikTok. Everybody is trying to be Andrew Tate for some reason, and they show that they are good at something with picturing like a picture in front of their company. And I joined this company today, and I'm going to have a coffee with the CEO, and then I go and then I watch with them what we'll do and next year, and then I go take my car to the shop, and then I take my kid. And when do you fucking work? I mean, I honestly don't know. These people post politics all the time. They don't show anything, right? So when are you working? Unless I am working harder than you and I don't know, right? Kind of crazy. I mean, and these people get noticed. You know what I saw last few days? I saw a girl posting that she left her job to go open her AI service. Okay, what is your AI service? Maybe you build LLMs or something like that. That will be cool. Show me. And her AI service was, she builds an interviewer with AI. And I'm like, okay, what does it use under the hood? Probably OpenAI or DeepSeek. So you just throw in like a voice messenger in your application that you give some prompts to interview some person on a job, and that's it. That's your AI SaaS, and you leave your job for that. I mean, these people needs to be awakened, because these SaaSes can be built in an hour and shipped and work, and you have competitors from China that are 14-year-olds and 15-year-olds that are better than you. So you need to also know what you're doing, because this is really bad. Yeah. Now I will answer your questions. Is TypeScript easy? It's not easy even for me, man. It's like a hustle. You need to just follow up TypeScript and understand what is omitting, what is like unification of some types, and you need to understand simply the simple stuff and move on from there, and you understand records, strings, and objects, and how you do all of this, right? Tell us more about SaaS sometime. Yeah, SaaS is the software as a service, which means that you build something, like you find a niche problem. So for me, I find like a niche problem right now, that if you go with your friends to have like let me just do it into black on black. So if you go to have a football match with your friends and you are 5 versus 5, right, you probably will need a referee app, right? A referee app will maybe have everyone has his mobile, And this referee app will tell you how much you shot on target or how much you did this and that, and probably it will use the cameras there. You will have two cameras, one here to detect everyone and what is his movement, and then give you like a detailed match review, right? This is a simple app. Its input is literally two cameras looking at people and unifying everyone who's this and who's that, right? And you need probably to run this app like five pictures of every person, so it knows exactly who is who, and 5 pictures of the other persons as well. And it also shows you, for example, some highlights, right? This is a really good app, right? No, I mean a referee in a football match, basically, something like that, or a basketball match, right? So yeah, you can build a referee class for it, and make it like an application with React or something like that. So it will have the three view components. So one of them being the first one to start the game. You take 5 photos here, 5 photos here. You go here, you start to play. The cameras will be the input, so it will take every person's face, and each person will have its own highlight. And then we'll just show you the highlight with how much movement you have. Maybe your defense was bad when you were playing 3-2, which is wrong. Maybe you will need to play like 3-1-1 or something like that, right? And you keep failing, as you said, and you will learn a lot, right? I am working on an application, and now we are working on the router part of it, but we are talking about extra stuff now, about how to build your own SaaS and stuff like that. Yeah. So by the way, we are 30 followers away from 4.5k, which is amazing. So if you can reach out, then I can go sleep in peace. All right. Now let's stop talking and try maybe to do something quickly. I need actually to check how the 10-stack router works. Now that I know that I have my current user actually provided correctly. And why I know that, because I see that it actually, whenever I log in, I will be able to see it, which is awesome. So I will show you exactly here. On the top, I have the image John Smith as a name, and the logout button, and which takes me actually back to the login page, right? Let me log in again, because I'm sure that I took off my GWT token. All right. Now let's just go back to this and see how 10-stack router works when you give it a context. So I know that we have create router parts, and sadly enough now it takes a route tree, which I don't know if that's actually, yeah, okay. So after the route tree it can take some other stuff. It says default stuff, so default, what is it called? Default preload. I don't know what is this, but I will try to find it out. Yeah, default preload. It means a route should use if no preload is provided. Okay. It should be true, they said. What else should we put there? We should put there actually context. And the context needs to be an object. And now it starts to be fun. So the object here needs to be just called an auth, and you can set it as undefined for now. Right, but the default prop, I think you need to call it something, and they say call it intent. I have no idea what is this, but I will call it whatever they say that I need to call it. And they say also do scroll restoration, which is if true, scroll will be enabled. Okay, that's enablement for it, so true. Okay, so now we have that, we call this with a context. We need to provide that context. So probably we need to provide the route for the authentication as well. And we need to provide the route for when you are authenticated, basically. Which is kind of odd. I have no idea how to do that, but yeah. I will copy something actually. I see that something is here for the router itself. But In this case we are just on the dark to see how this works and how the router actually works. It's just a bit odd, but maybe we can just put instead of undefined there for our route. If we just provide that app auth provide. Okay, I got it now. Okay, cool. You need to have two apps, one for registry and one for no auth and one for auth. So I will show you what I found out. This is what I found out. You have this register declare model, which I don't understand, and then you have this function for use auth, and then it says that it doesn't find the use auth part, but we have one use auth. Yeah. Why it's not important? I did import it. Nice. And then have this constant of app that should be coming from our app as well. Okay, let me check what we have in our app at this moment. Probably we have something also that we need to take off of there, because I'm sure that the provider is called here. Yeah, somewhere here you have the use auth as well. Yeah, which is wrong to do it like this, I think, because the use auth is called everywhere. Or we have our app also in the root dir, which is this one with the outlet. And the main as well. Alright, this is tricky. Where do we call our app? And then I'll just call it like this to see where I call it exactly, in the root index, right? And this is the auth provider that I prepared for it. Okay, now this is not simple now at this point, because in our case we have our application called on another route actually. Okay, Arena asked what are the complications about building SaaSes. It's just, the complications is just you need to choose a good, maybe good reason to build your SaaS at this point. Because if you find a really good niche problem, like a golf match SaaS reviewer or something like that, or a highlighter or something like that, where people actually can use them for their golf matches, then you will have a really good niche of people that are probably rich, right? And they want to do stuff, and they want to use it, and then you will have actually to hire someone to probably find you like the best prices for all of this, and maybe design the best designs for your app, and they will like it more, and they will pay you like 100 euros a month for sure, and you won't have any problem with that. It's just the niche part. It's just you need to find really good niche. Yeah, there is not as much digitalization, and that's what I want to actually build in these cases. I will keep building until we find something. I actually feel like we don't have a website for when you lose something, you need to find it in like in a place called like find and lost and found or something like that, right? So lost and found websites here are actually from the government, and you can build them a better website and sell it to them if they want. Otherwise, if they don't want, you want to open it as your own SaaS and say, yeah, if someone lost something and cannot wait for the government to like for 2 months to find something, and you just already know that someone else probably found it, so go to my website. It's a lost and found, and you can do a handshake part like escrow, where if you lost something and you put it into an alert system and someone else found it and put the same description, it will match them and will tell them, is this yours, and that's it, right? And it will be even better than the governmental website. Is this React or Next.js? This is React, by the way. Yeah. Okay, so in my case here, instead of calling the auth provider in the app itself, I will delete this, and I will call this one in my auth tree, right? And what I will do, I will actually I don't know, man. Maybe. Ah, man. How can this become better? Okay, so the app is called app for now. It's fine. Okay, the router should be there. The inner app should use the auth or maybe current user. How do I call it in the layout? I actually forgot. Is this my layout? Okay, you know what? I will check it here. I say current user, I not destructure it, right? So this doesn't need to be destructured. And then that will be current user for the contest. Right? And funny enough, now our content provider doesn't need to return a auth context. Doesn't need that. Yeah. Unless we needed to. Correct, yeah. And this app now is defined but never used. But we need to use it somewhere now. We have a client provider and a router provider that uses route. And the router is coming from the create route, which knows exactly what to throw. But yeah, in our case here, this auth provider needs to take the inner app, which is okay. And then the main part of our application, which is the root part here, needs to take app. So what I'm gonna do, just, man, this is gonna becoming really odd at this point. This app, then I will export it, right, and call it in this root, right? I'm not sure honestly why then do I need this outlet in root. Maybe I need to get rid of them at the end. As I on my main.tsx now I call just the inner app, right, and that's the author provider. Otherwise I would just throw these two, but how can then the application work in this case? In what they say about it is that under the strict mode you need to have your app basically, right? Which is makes sense, but in my case this is what my app needs to be like, or the inner app, or needs to have these in it. And probably the inner app needs to be called in the outlet itself. I don't know at this point, honestly. I'm just trying everything until it works. This is not VS Code, by the way. This is NeoVim. Yeah. Yeah, so the auth provider and use auth are two different things for me, because the auth provider is what uses the use auth to know sure that you have a current user or not. But here I'm saying, hey, I will return the router provider here with the router itself that I actually created on top. And also, usually I'm returning this inside here. But now my inner app needs also to be there and called inside the auth provider. But then we get left with the app where it be called. Oh man. Okay, so let's go to app.tsx and see what we are returning here. The app.tsx starts exactly with the layout. So the layout, and then throws the application in our face. and there is nothing about app here that you need to worry about. It's just that I called app inside my root at some point, or maybe I am actually wrong about this and I called app somewhere else, and that's where I will call it again, right? Let me check. Oh, wait a second. Okay, so this is all my app, right? Okay, so now I can just use my auth provider and outlets and stuff like that into this where I have. Okay, makes sense now. That's my app then, that contains the layout, and then I will go here and I will make this inside the inner app. Okay, maybe I'll just call it like this. I'll call it like encapsulator or something like that. Boundary, app boundary. That seems like a good name for it. And I will export it. And I will just go to my inner app and say that it will accept kind of like children of app. Yeah. But let's try right now to kind of see what will happen if you just call it here. Okay, we need to call it also as a component. So now it's broken for sure, and also I need to take off the token. Thanks, Nico. Thanks a lot. Can you show what are you building right now? I try to show it, but I have the biggest error in the planet. So I'm trying actually to check my local storage. I have a token already, so I need to see that our login page is working as intended. So now it's trying to take us to not our login page, which is correct because probably this inner app is not taken correct router provider. I think here what I have as a problem is that I don't define where it goes if it doesn't find the router provider, because the app itself is being called into the outlet for the root basically. This 10 stack example that I have is totally different from what we are trying to deploy. Let me check actually about the 10 stack authentication and how it should work, right? So in our case we have an auth context. Maybe we create an auth context that is totally from 10 stack as well. Alright, so here we have a context already ready for us, and this context honestly seems a bit odd and different from what we have. So let's create it next to our other auth context. If you want to see what is my auth context now, it's here in components and in auth context, which I changed to have kind of like a current user that comes from 10 stack query and stuff like that. But it seems like to have another option for us, so I'll just create auth.tsx, right, and copy wherever they provide. And this is what they provide actually. It's called from utils. What is this sleep function? Let me check it. Yeah, so this sleep is actually just, I will put it over here. Oops. And now we will just use it in case. So the sleep function just coming up there. And let me check and read this exactly to understand it. So it has a function of sleep that resolves after certain MS number, so it's kind of like a delay. And then login, logout, user, these are actually authentication functions, and this is a create context of that. Then you need a key, which is .user, which is wrong here. In our case, will be probably the token. And here they are calling actually the use set user from there, which is get stored user, which searches for key. Oh, well, that's bad. Okay, forget about the key. Or here it sets the key, right? If user set stored user, we don't need this actually. We don't need this at all. But let me see whether they use it. Set user stick. Yeah, I will kind of do it this way then. If they are looking at it at local storage, I'll just go local storage.get, right? And I will get item, I think. Yeah, get item, and then I'll go token. And by the way, this will just be a string probably. Yeah. Oops. Hopefully I called it token. Yeah, I need to check that. I called it. Oh, now I don't have it anymore. I called it token, I think. Let me just search for local storage in my application and I'll find out. Local storage. Yeah, as you see here, I called it token in my application part. All right, so here it will just use the use state part to, let me just get this React part and import it on top. I hate this when they do it actually. Use state and use effects, and let me just find out wherever they use React dot and just delete it here. Delete it here. Oops. Just didn't get delete here. Delete word, then that, next, delete word, then that, next, delete word, and that. Alright, so what is this React node? It's just okay, this one can stay react.react node for type. Seems cool. Alright, this one needs to go away, and we solve the issues here. I think we are okay. Get stored user and set stored user, which is totally stupid thing. All right. Auth context, so that's the create context, and then we will return another context here. All right, cool. Nice. So the user, we will know it actually by not using it like this. We'll probably need it for us to be gotten from the data that we are actually getting from 10-stack query. What is the difference between use state and use reducer? Use reducer is actually, use state is just to set state that you can edit later on. So let's say you have a value and you need to set it as a state. Whenever it updates your component. Therefore, if you are setting it as a 10 and then you need to be as 20, it will just be set to 20 later on and updates the whole component. Reducer is kind of different. It had like enums for it, like kind of like functions to set and get certain states, right? And you will have an object of different states. Let's say name, address, value of incrementation of certain value, and also an action for decreasing that certain value. So you want to call that reducer whenever you want to do any action, or you want to do set a state of that object of any kind of value that you have inside that object. I know it's kind of like very odd to explain like this, but we will talk about it once we are done with this part. All right, cool. Does this tie in with cybersecurity? It has nothing to do with cybersecurity, by the way, but yeah, it may tie into web development, and that's where you can shine learning this, right? Cool. How much are we? We are already 9,500. That's amazing. I didn't see it coming, but thank you all. What do you mean, Irina, by your question? Maybe I can understand better. You mean where are people watching my live stream from? Yeah, sure. I can share that. I have I am on also Twitch, so you can go, I think, Stack and search me by this name, right? And also I am on Kick and on YouTube as well. Actually saw a comment from YouTube, I will read it. It says he's a Python dev from Uganda and also want to learn this Leetcode. I'm not Leetcoding, but hopefully you can learn React with me, right? Yeah, but maybe Saturday we will Leetcode. Do programmers have a life? Not really. What is your tech stack? I am doing Mern stack usually. Oh, yeah. That's a really cool thing. Let me actually check it right now. There is like a live studio on TikTok. Live center, right? Let me check actually analytics, right? Yeah, I can share some stuff, some insights probably. So I can show you where you guys are from. So I have key metrics. These are my key metrics, by the way. And my views lately are around 17K, because right now I will let you know on this exact live stream we had 6K people coming on. Like it's 50 people watching right now, but 6,000 people were on my live stream. So either they joined and went away, or either they joined and stayed and just went away after a bit of time. There's like this reward thingy. This is like €1 or something like that from the last month. It's nothing. It's like I don't get paid for this kind of stuff. Yeah. Engagement is super cool, because engagement, when people are actually try to comment, so these are likes, comments, anything that you guys do, right? And this is activity. So I've been streaming since 20 of February for 14 hours. So every day I stream, therefore we are good. The live recommendation is where people are coming to my live stream. So most of the people come here from my live recommendation, but there is a following feed. So now I have 3% of my followers that come to my live stream. So 3% is really good, because it's around 300 people that comes in sometimes and go, and vice versa. From shares, posts I don't have, but I have some other stuff. Maybe people tag me or something like that, or people share themselves, right? So live recommendation is the best one where people actually do. So countries, as you see, Germany is 17%, but other countries is actually 50%, 58%. United States and Germany are very close. So Germany is 17% because I am from Germany now, so that makes sense. And then 15% from the US, because the time is really better right now for the US. It's probably 6 p.m. at some point. United Kingdom, and then Italy 3%. The age though is really interesting. I have no kids in my live stream, which is awesome. And I have from 18 to 24, 30%. But the best part, that the people that are the most is from 25 to 34, which is good, which is the working class. So if I sell something in the future, or I do like some kind of something when it comes to like selling merch or something like that, I will be really to sell well. I can sell this for good, basically. And the gender is basically 14% female and male 86%, which is really cool, I think. Yeah, I think I do have some other stuff here, like how many likes and how many stuff, but overall it's kind of cool. And I stream every day. I don't have much. I don't have even subscribers as well. I think I have 2 subscribers for now. And I can do sub waves and stuff, but I don't use them. I don't want the chat to be actually just paying money to watch or something like that. That's it. Yeah. What's good? Nice. Yeah, I'm good there. JavaScript is cool. Yeah. Do you know how long do people stay in lives on average? Yeah, I can not know that honestly, but I can see that on average. I can check that from followers, views. Oh yeah, I can know that. On average they stay around let me check on the last, let me do it in the last 60 days, around 5 to 10 minutes. So it's not much. They just ask a couple of questions and go, but that's really good actually. You can pitch them, you can sell them something in these 10 minutes or 5 minutes even. Oh, you are an embedded engineer, but where do you work actually? Yeah, some live streams I have even 2 minutes. Oh, wait a second, I'm sorry, I said 2 minutes. I have people who stayed for hours, which is really cool. Yeah, the average is 5 minutes, but I have people who stays for hours as well, which is really cool. Yeah, nice. Real-time performance. It's seeing now like what we do also, and it's really kind of cool. All right, but I get it that people actually here get like giftings and stuff like that, which makes the live stream better and better, right? But for me, I don't kind of provoke them to do, and I don't want to have that. And also I have suggestions for people who wants to join my live stream. I would probably do it someday, but I want just people who are really coders as well, so I can invite people to join me. Yeah, I can invite. I see multi-guest live and stuff like that, and then it will reach out to multiple people. I can ask questions and stuff like that, or maybe we can do a kind of interviewing and stuff. It will be really awesome, but I honestly don't think that's a good idea for now. I just want to rise by my own and see exactly what I can distribute as things I can share with my live stream viewers. I can also have like some polls and stuff like that. I can do custom polls. So for example, I can ask you like questions and stuff like that. I can create a new like like which framework do you prefer, something like this. Let me try. I will put it like add an option. I will do Angular, React, and Svelte. Well, it's a library, but whatever. And then when I save and I start this, it should pop in the screen, right? For 3 minutes at least. And then I can stop it, right? Which is awesome also. Like to see how people actually are interacting with my live streams and stuff. And with polls. And I can see that already some guy voted React, so that's awesome. How long till you get to my level? 1 to 2 years and you will be on my level. Yeah. What kind of project are you working on? I'm working on a white noise project right now. We are struggling with the auth context part, but we're trying to actually do it. The thing is that I have like some auth context that I created that works perfectly, so I'm actually going to do that here. So I'm going actually to use the same user as well. So okay, maybe I will just do it like this and take out the undefined port, or you know what, let me leave it and call this user set user, right? Okay. Right now we are trying to actually get rid of everything. Import or user like this. Okay, there is a problem with my, okay, nice. User as a variable from a type, yeah, that's what I needed. And that's cool. Yeah, we need to do the user query part. I also don't know how to do that part. This is just to get the use query from stack query like that. Yeah, cool. And then I get the profile as well. Maybe these two will help me. So now we are trying to make this as my function. So now this should work. The use state is not working. What? Okay, you know what? Let me return this Let's take off this one here. That's better. Okay. Query function promise a number of collisions. So get profile is there, data is there. Yeah, I forgot to close this one. Yeah. So it says here that I have some problems with my elements are in use. That we will use them, don't worry about that. So this const is authenticated is equal to user, and in my case here user, we need to wait for it. Yeah, oh my gosh. All right, we need probably use effect for this, right? Man. Okay, so if data.user, that's what we have here, right? Let me copy the same thing, right? And this will be data.user. I have my LSP crying, man. Is loading is there as well, and this loading is not used in our case, but for me I can use it in my auth provider or the auth context part. Can just do it like that, then it will be used, right? Okay, let me see your comments while I actually check. Would you recommend .NET full stack for web dev? Yeah, why not? I mean, if you are good with something in the front end, but what kind of framework do you use on the front end? Maybe you can tell me on that. What is this all sleeps? With all this that sleeps, I mean, I will check it right now because the sleeps is actually from 10stack, and I copied the same code from them, and now I'm checking how to use it, right? So the login function is just simple login part, which I'm actually going to take off. Login is a real callback async for username, await sleep, set user to username, blah 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 blah, where they actually call this get user or something like that. Yeah, that's also bad. Yeah, so in our case, in this one logout part, where do they use them though? User login logout. Yeah, values is authenticated, should be there. We don't need all of that. And we can make this as authenticated, we can make it as a state. Const is authenticated, set is authenticated, is authenticated as a use state of, what the hell did I write? Use state of, at this point, null. Yeah, and yeah, we can set it here to become user. Set authenticated to have always the user part. Yeah, what is expected? Do I actually forgot to do something here? The use query is updated. Cannot find create context for sure. Create context and use context as well. Okay, use context seems to be there already, so that's cool. What is wrong with this? Let me see. Yeah, now it's doing okay. So now there is something with, okay, let me just go back. There is something with this one here that is not working properly. So okay, so this needs to be closed. Nice, and now we are close to actually making this work, right? Sleep is not function anymore, fuck that. argument of user is a boolean, is not a set to parameter of set null. Maybe I'll just say false here. Then we clear that. Yeah, data.user needs to be here, or actually the data themselves. Yeah, it's missing data.user. Actually, this is fine to do it, but I don't say that you need to do this. Yeah, either include it or remove it. So it says React hooks is missing user. It's not important to put it, but probably we can do that. At this point we can delete this one, right or not? It needs it. Okay, so user are not undefined, should be string on null, and this one, let's do it as use context directly, kind of. Correct. So now we cleared all the problems that we have. You can take a look at it and tell me. Refactoring a Redux app to just use React context feels so much better. Redux is over engineering, true, actually, but we never used actually Redux here. And yes, we are doing lazy nvim, and CS is cooked, true. What is this red thing? It's my LSP. Basically, I have a new Vim configured to show this red stuff, right? And that's it. I mean, it's helpful, right? Right, so I created the poll and you guys said that React is the best framework. So that's awesome. So it will pop up that nobody actually wrote anything else, but we can restart it and let's see what you guys think about. But I think, yeah, I agree with you. React is the OP. And let's see what else can I do with this. I can do something called treasure box. What is this? 60 people can collect the coins. Oh, okay. I don't know even how to do this. Top up? Ah, okay, I cannot do it. That's something for another thing, another live stream. All right. There is like also something called gift gallery. And this, I don't know how it works. There's something called goodie bag. These are all actually something called TikTok Live Studio, which you can only stream with on TikTok, and it seems like really cool. Yeah. In terms of monetization, I don't have anything, so everything is closed for me actually. I cannot use anything, but just I need to reach out to 10K. That's the goal, kind of. Yeah. Learn Vue React sucks. I agree with you actually. Vue so much better, I know, but React also is really good, so you can get used to it to the point that things becomes also good for you. Yeah, nice. So basically anything that we speak about right here is also in my profile, so sometimes I cut some stuff and I make them into videos, so make sure to check that as well. It will help you a lot also to understand what I'm doing. Let me actually check the poll and what you guys chose. Okay, nobody chose anything. Let me stop it. Whatever. Oh. So that's it. Hello there. Why is C# cooked? I don't know. It is not cooked. They still use it for video games and stuff. Alright, so this is actually my kind of right now thing that I'm doing here is just me calling the data, and if there is data.user, I will just set the auth provider to be correct or not. Otherwise, I will just return the context. If no context, throw an error. Otherwise, return the context. And my use auth now can be called with both. Actually, the auth and also the auth context plus the use auth. So I can use both of them right now in my application. So if I go to my main now, I need to just return app. And app needs to be somewhere. Oh gosh. Yeah, in my index, basically .tsx. I need to use the app part. But also I think that I can use it in the root. That's why I am really right now very not understanding what is happening with all of this, because it says that in order for you actually to show the app, you need an app component. But in my case, it's an outlet thingy. It has nothing to do with what I created. But let me search. I am actually checking now. Yeah, I tried Angular, but I'm not really familiar with it. Okay, so this is the example that I say do it. We have auth context that is exactly similar to what actually they provide, which is really cool. In our case, we just need to take off this login, logout, and we can use the user from our variable that we imported there. And here we can take off null. We don't need it. We can say user or undefined, basically. Then that will work, right? Yeah. So here, they say that you need actually to get this key, which we have already from local storage, so we don't really need to do anything about it. That's all we have. And then you say in the main.tsx you call inner app, otherwise you call your app, right? But in my case here, what does replace app? Right? I don't see here anything that replaces app, unless in his root.tsx he's returning the outlet, right? Oh, okay. He's getting the auth context and getting also, yeah, he's getting the auth context here. And then he says on his index page, he has a home component. And this became his index page. Makes sense actually. So what I did in my application is totally wrong from what I should do in this case. Yeah, but what is app? Still I don't understand what the hell they are doing in this case. App here is just this inner with auth provider. Okay, but then what I'm thinking about in my case, where does he put all this query client provider and router provider router? So router provider of router. Okay, I get it now. Now it makes sense. Yep, it makes sense. Now let me just show you how it makes sense. Okay, so sorry that it's a roller coaster. You came in here while I'm actually trying to solve some problems. So yeah. So you will be a bit flabbergasted. Alright, so this this here can sit there, and this router provider actually what returns the current user in case. So actually we can even take this and just put it before this and take off the return, and also take this query provider as well and put it here, and just put all of these surrounded by that and put our return here. Return. For some reason I don't know what I'm doing, but seems really correct. In this case here, the router provider we use already, and for our app boundary we will just smart rename it to app, right? So now we have kind of the same kind of thingy. All right, but the thing that we did as mistake is that in our root we have an index file here, right? In our index file we call the app, which is total misunderstanding in this case. Yeah, I didn't know that I have this, but I now understand my problem. So what I can do is cry. Not cry, honestly, but let's think about it. Maybe if we take everything from here, because everything is already imported modularly. Let's do it like this. Copy this part. Oh man, this is gonna be epic. Go here. Oh shit. Alright, let me just do it for you guys. I'll just do this and then copy back everything else inside my app. Oops. Everything here. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, seems cool. Delete. Now go here. And inside here, I will just go like, hey, here you go. And now everything seems to be work perfectly. Now we can delete this app.tsx because we don't need it anymore, and we need only our main, and our main looks clean. Alright, so hopefully this is what we did actually will help us move forward, because at this point I'm clueless, right, about what will happen. Alright, so I don't have a login page right now, and nothing is shown because my root is totally empty. So what I can do in this case is that if someone is not rooted correctly, he need to go to somewhere else. So let me actually fix that. Here they say it's undefined, my auth, so let me just put it as undefined with not null as they put it there, and check if my application could work. No, it shouldn't work, right? If I just go /login, does it work? No, also. Ours the root now is just empty. Some guy said, I remember being a noob. I'm now noob with 10-stack router, but I'm not really that much noob always. Cool. Do you have any guys, do you have any question, guys? Because honestly, I feel like the chat is not there anymore. I just started to learn JavaScript. Well, that's good for you. By the way, guys, you can check me out on Twitch. So I will actually put my Twitch account right now in the chat, and you can go there and watch me as well. Watch me do this. And you will have the whole screen over there. If you are on PC, please put your Twitch, it's better. Hi sir, I want to implement a refresh token. Can I do it inside the provider? Yes, you can do a login, logout, like with deleting the token, and you say get token or set token based on your auth provider. What language is that? That's TypeScript. What language is that? TypeScript with React. I want to become a software engineer. Well, you're at the right place. Yeah, I also have issues with Node 22, so just go to the LTS version, which is probably the 18 one. Alright guys, we need to fix out this. Now, what will be the best option to do in this case? The context is working, everything working, and probably it's my index.ts part, right? Because we need like to have like, we need to have maybe, okay, so here, look at this, create file route component X, right? That's probably needs to be private route, right? Are you using Playwright? I'm not using any testing on this, by the way. I'm using React right now. After we finish with everything, we will do the whole testing part and we will do it perfectly. Don't worry about that. All right. So on my login page, oh yeah. I need to have a fallback on my login page now. Oh man, this is too much. So my login page will be basically the use auth part, and it will search for if I have something. Cons fallback. Okay, let's do 4x4 not found .tsx, right? Hello not found. I'll just put here not found page. This will serve as our not found, so we have it as a kind of like our fallback part, right? Honestly, at this case, what I'm gonna do now, because it's honestly late at night and I need to sleep, to get some sleep, is just to put a readme file here and just say, hey, this would be another X, check this one. Yeah, that will be serving as my new issues. So here I will not push this, or you know what, I'll push it just to, I'll maybe push it in a new yeah, in a new probably a new branch maybe. Yeah, let me then do a stash for all of this, stash all, stashing login stuff. All right, and then I stashed everything 100%, so now I need to make sure that I still have my old stuff. So the login is here, the app still in my index part. Yeah, correct, that's nice. So now what I'm gonna do is, yeah, create maybe from this develop a new branch, and there's a new branch called auth login setup, and I'll just go to my stash and just take everything up, right? Yeah, how can I apply the stash? I actually don't check out. Yeah, that's it. Now everything is actually back to what I want it to be. And then let's check. So we have the router part, we have this, yeah, and everything seems to be perfect. So index, tac, console data, did I change this? Oh, I added that. So avatar, yeah, we did an avatar, we did everything. So now I will just commit all of this. So add in login config, this is what I will call it, and then push it, and then I'll push it to origin. So now if we go to yeah, I advise you to use the 18 version of Node. Sorry for actually answering a bit late, but that's what I advise you to do. Yeah, so now that we pushed this, you can find it on my application here, and you will find out that I have 3 branches. Basically the auth login setup is here, and let's see how it works. Later on I will take it to develop, and from develop to main. Alright, so our goal actually is to reach out to 3,000 or 10,000 sorry followers on TikTok. We are already very close to there. Right now we are at 9,543, so we need like 450 more or something. Yeah, but honestly I really think that on the next stream we can reach that number, and it's gonna be epic. Thanks all for watching. I actually need to hop off, and thanks for everyone who's trying to kind of repost or watch the videos and do everything to support us here. I honestly appreciate it. We're going actually to create more applications together, and I stream every day, so if you are here new, I will be able to share with you more in the future, and please come back to the live stream, and hopefully we will have a lot of fun. So that's it. So if you want to support, please subscribe on TikTok, that will be really helpful. Otherwise, please forget about it. And yeah, I will actually see you tomorrow, because tomorrow we will continue with this auth login part, and if all good, then it will gonna be an epic night. Yeah, I have a YouTube, actually I do have one, and I stream also on YouTube. I will share with you right now the YouTube link. Actually right now I am live, and you probably right now heard me talking. Yeah, here you go. Can we use the pip in the env and npm? But as per your experience, can we use the pip from Python in the env of npm? You don't need to do that. If you are doing npm, please, if you are doing Python, please build your Django backend or something like that, and then go forward to kind of use something else for front end. It can be a React or anything like that. And for the people who are asking about the theme, it's called Tokyo Night theme, and I have it also on my GitHub, and you can see it there. All my M files are there, or my dot files are there, so you can actually have everything. Yeah, I shared also with you my YouTube channel. It's very small right now. I don't have so much followers, so if you want to follow and watch the streams from now on there, that will be nice as well. But overall, it's up to you guys. And thanks a lot, honestly, for everything. I know that we didn't finish up today with our stuff, but I need to kind of like be prepared for tomorrow's work day. And yeah, that would be nice if you guys actually follow here, and yeah, we will continue tomorrow, hopefully. Okay, thanks everyone, thanks for being here. I'll just hop off right now, and tomorrow let's continue with this login issue and find out how we can make it work. Cool, thanks everyone, and see you soon. Peace out. That's a good thing to say. Peace out.